Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Empty Promise podcast. My name is Chris, and thank you for joining me. Nope. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Empty Promise podcast. My name is Chris. Today, I am joined around the table by my best friend in the whole wide world, Mr. James D. Downey.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us on the 14th of July, 2019, on what is episode 82 of the podcast.
82.
82.
Oh my God.
Making our way to the 100.
I'm getting scared of that.
If this is your first time listening to the podcast, hello and welcome.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to, you picked a good episode to tune in on.
Yeah,
I think.
definitely.
Yeah, you picked a great day as well. I mean, for
they're
us,
all good. Don't get me wrong, they're all good.
they're all okay.
But this one's like
This one's going to be
really
top
good.
notch, yeah. We've done some research for this one, so you're in for a treat. It is a gorgeous sunny Sunday here in rural Ireland.
Is that like another part of Ireland? We've got regular Ireland, Northern Ireland, rural Ireland.
Yeah. Are we rural? We're not as rural as some parts of
I
Ireland.
mean,
I don't know,
it
because
doesn't get much further out, Chris.
well,
We're in the forgotten lands.
what would you call like Connemara and places?
Oh, fair.
Like wildland?
Then that's gone. That's the
like
wild
some-
Atlantic
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're rural. We're not out
I
there.
thought about, doesn't the wild Atlantic way sound so appealing though?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh,
They got the branding down, Chris.
so good. Here's a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
The wild Atlantic way runs the whole way into Portugal. Did you know that?
I did. How do?
It is not just confined to Ireland.
And can you get the bike path the whole way down?
No. It does. It runs from the top of Ireland right down through Ireland, and then it runs down part of Spain and into Portugal down that way. Still the west coast of those countries, and that's still classed as the wild Atlantic way.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was all that wild down those parts, but it must be.
Apparently
Pretty
so.
crazy.
I haven't visited much of Spain, so I don't know.
No.
But do you mean down Ireland?
Well, Ireland I know
Oh,
it's all
yeah.
kind of like, because it's like really like stony and like just like it's all broken up because of like what happened during the Ice Age or something.
I think it's what a lot of people would picture Ireland to be who don't know what Ireland is.
It's one of two things. It's either you're going to see that Connemara, big woolly jumpers,
sheep everywhere,
wild,
stones everywhere.
or you're going to see like green pastures,
Yeah, lots of turf.
stuff like that. Turf.
Lots of turf. People enjoy turf in the west of Ireland. I can see why.
It's like everywhere and it's cheap, so why not?
And it smells great when you burn it.
It does, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
I love the
There's
smell of
something
turf.
about it,
It's
yeah.
very good.
Probably not good for the environment.
But
hey.
we are semi-rural Ireland.
Yeah, I think we're rural. I mean, because like we're the close
sticks.
to anything. We don't get good internet.
No,
We're-
God, no.
If you want to go into the shops to get something, you have to really think about it.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, you got to think before you travel.
You got to plan.
Yeah,
that.
100%. Yeah.
Um,
If there's a big freeze on, like like weather-wise, you gotta prepare for that because you're not getting out. If it snows even minorly,
you're done.
that's you grounded for a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
We're definitely not. What's the opposite of urban? We're not
We're
urban.
not urban.
No, for sure.
We're semi-rural Ireland. So thank you for joining us in semi-rural Ireland. If this is your first podcast, if not, welcome back to the podcast. Thank you for joining us in episode 82. It's the 14th of July, where in 1789, the people of Paris stormed the Bastille prison to find only 7 prisoners inside.
Wow. Why?
This actually ties in really well with what we're kind of talking about. If you think about it today, people of Paris storming Bastille.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I could have researched that, but I literally just opened the book.
Is this? I don't know anything about this now. But is this what Bastille
Day
Day comes from?
Yeah.
Is this?
Yes, this is it. Yeah.
Wow.
This is Bastille Day. I was in France once for Bastille Day. There was a lot of fireworks.
It's a big thing. Is it like Independence Day for the French?
Yeah, that's what it is. When isn't Bastille? I don't know. Did they overthrow government or something?
Yeah, they did.
Joan of Arc.
Oh,
Was that her? No?
I don't know. No, it was. It's the same. It's around the same time that America did, maybe a year before America, because they always celebrate. Anytime they have their Independence Days, they're always like, "Hey, good on you," and they're like, no, you did it first." Now.
Did they send America the Statue of Liberty?
Statue of Liberty, yeah.
Because of this?
Because of Independence.
See, this podcast informs and teaches. So here's a list of 10 very select groups of people. And that's it. Not animals or things.
Just very select groups.
Yeah, like actors who played Doctor Who.
Oh, fair. Okay,
There we
I
go.
see what you mean, right.
Captains of the Starship Enterprise, who's captained the vessel throughout an entire series. Because that doesn't happen too often, I don't
Does it not?
No, I don't think so, no.
Well, does it give the names of the people?
No, it does not.
Just says this
it
is
just yeah.
Well, that's
The Friends and Friends. They're a select group of people.
This could really be anything, couldn't it?
People who've knocked out Mike Tyson.
How many people have done that?
I don't know. A very select group.
Yeah, I'd imagine not very many.
Actors who've played a convincing Sherlock Holmes.
Fuck me.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. did a great job in the movies.
I think so.
And then
Benedict Cumberbatch. Those are the only two I even know in recent memory.
People who can't do a Rubik's Cube but are still trying.
That's not select. I'd say there's more people who have completed a Rubik's Cube than who've done that.
Children who haven't let at least one of their Tamagotchi pets die.
Did you have a Tamagotchi?
I did.
I think I had
Didn't
one.
take care of it.
I think I had one or two, actually.
Didn't care for it at all. It was too pixelated for me, you know. People who've been into space.
Yeah, it's pretty select.
Yeah. People who've traveled faster than the speed of sound.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty cool, actually. What about all the people on Concorde, though? Back when it was
true, actually. Yeah, they broke the sound barrier, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. They could, anyway. They had the potential of doing that.
Yeah, well, there
you go, Chris.
Another pointless list for this week, Dee. I hope you learned something. I hope everybody at home learned something. I didn't. I have some news for you this week, Dee. Let me just bring up my news.
Get the news feed up, Chris.
Did you hear about the intruder that broke into Buckingham Palace?
This happens every couple of years.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So Buckingham Palace is the big place where the Queen lives, or all the royals. Do all the royals live there?
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, the Queen lives there, and an intruder broke into the palace at 2 a.m. during the week one morning while the Queen slept just meters away. The man was able to scale a fence at the front of the building to get inside the 93-year-old monarch's home, where he was able to attempt to bang down the doors of the residence. Sources say it took the police on site around 4 minutes to apprehend him while they tried to assess whether he was armed, causing panic within the palace about the massive security breach. There were fears the man was attempting a copycat operation to Michael Fagan, who famously able to enter the Queen's bedroom almost 37 years ago to the day. I read up then on this Michael Fagan to see what who or what he was.
What he was about?
So he broke into the Queen's bedroom. He was schizophrenic.
Oh.
He broke into the Queen's bedroom and just sat at the edge of her bed and spoke to her, and they had a conversation. She pressed the panic button beside her bed, which she has, and nobody came. So this guy just kept talking, and he just kept talking to the Queen, and he kept talking about how he was going to kill himself. And eventually she picked up the phone and said, can I get security or something up to my bedroom? And the response was, of course, ma'am, you're the Queen.
Come on.
So security came up, and this guy came up with the Queen and her corgis, her dogs. And the guy was just sitting at the side of the bed. So they all continued to talk together because they didn't want to just ambush him in case he tried something. And eventually he was manhandled out of the palace. I don't think the Queen pressed charges or anything.
Yeah, I was about to say, this seems like something the Queen would probably like. I mean, I don't know the Queen, right? Yeah. But like her public image has always been like she's not one to go like, nah, I'm gonna get this man the harshest possible sentence. No. I imagine she probably sat there and talked to him about his life and tried to help him.
Exactly. Yeah.
She probably,
Yeah. That's a scary thing. I mean, this guy just scaled a fence to get to Buckingham Palace.
You wake up.
Is that how easy
in your bed?
Yeah.
And there's someone sitting at the foot of your bed.
I
wouldn't sit up.
Doesn't matter who you are. Yeah.
I get up and I run away. Yeah. I was gonna say I beat the shit out of them. Now it's like no, I get up and I run away.
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
Exactly. Out
go get someone who can
the
help
closest
me.
window. Yeah.
The panic button didn't work.
No. She has a panic button next to her bed.
Do you think? I know she's obviously important, right? It is the Queen, but it's not. She's not the president. She's not the prime minister. No. You know, it's not like. I know it's like obviously DEFCON bad 5, if she dies, right, or she gets taken or whatever. But it's like, do you think? Do you think it's like? You know, the Royal Guard all wear the funny hats and stuff. You know what I mean? Like
you can't take those guys seriously.
It's not like, you know, it's like in the Papal Guard, right?
Oh yeah. Oh, them guys are badass.
They're serious business.
They're like dressed up like as if they're ready for war.
Yeah, right.
You know?
They've got guns and shit.
Yeah.
But the Queen's Guard,
are
kind of more for pomp and circumstance.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm sure they're well trained. They have to be. I mean, obviously not that well trained.
I mean, this guy, it said just manhandled him out, you know. I would imagine there's a lot of pushing and
See,
shoving.
maybe it wasn't the guard that came in. Maybe because he brought the dogs. Maybe it was just like a butler.
A butler or someone. Yeah.
What do you call that butler? Paul somebody who was on I'm a Celebrity.
Oh, that's right. Paul. What's his name?
Something or other.
Did he serve the Queen? He did, didn't he?
Yeah,
he served royalty anyway.
Yeah, he was like. I thought he was like really close to Princess Diana.
Oh, that's what it could have been back in the day. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. The royals.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, that could have killed her. Heart attack could have killed the lady.
True.
She's
yeah.
93.
Although I think she just seems like one of those like seasoned people. I mean, obviously she's seen a lot being the Queen
I'd
and
say
whatnot.
so, yeah.
She's probably just like, oh, another one of these.
She actually,
copycats.
here's another thing about the Queen I read during the week. She was at a tree planting ceremony for something, and some man came over and was like, do you wish me to plant the tree, for you? And she goes, I am well able to plant a tree myself. And she dug the little pit, put the tree in, and covered it up herself with a spade.
Fair play.
So,
What did you say? She's old now. She's like
93.
93.
93. That's a long time on this earth.
They're giving her something.
Yeah, you think?
It's the Queen. Like they're giving her something. They got some tech, Chris, that they're not sharing with the general public just yet. She's gonna live to 149.
I'd love to know what goes on inside that place.
I know.
How many rooms? Like, what do they need all the rooms for?
Oh, it was Harry and Meghan Markle. They renovated some place. Like,
renovated. Like, why do they need to renovate?
Just move it to one of the various wings. Of
Exactly.
the palace.
There's wings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's wings that are probably like bigger than most people's grounds of their house.
Yeah.
And
like it costs like whatever, 100,000 it costs, but that all comes from the taxpayer fund or whatever. Shit like that just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean they're always in the headlines these days, the royals.
Yeah, but apparently it makes a lot of money.
Everyone's falling out with each other.
All that.
What to them?
Yeah, like I think to an extent a lot of it's orchestrated.
You think?
Yeah, I think they have like PR people who like, let's let them know that there was a row between so and so and so and so, and then that goes into the press, and then that makes attention, and then they buy more merchandise.
Do you ever think like
think
for these two women, who was it, Meghan and Kate, isn't that?
Is this the argument?
Yeah. Do you ever think like whatever made them marry into that, knowing that like their lives were just going to be on show for the world?
I mean, Meghan Markle is already an actress, so like,
probably
could.
But was she wasn't that like
that.
she wasn't that big.
No, but
what was she in?
Suits.
Was that it?
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Okay.
Then she retired.
She just retired after Suits.
You don't really have to work after that, do you?
Can she still? She probably can't now.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like she probably can't actually. No. Yeah. There's probably a lot of rules and regulations before you go into royalty.
Wow. I seen they were at Wimbledon during the week. They were at the ladies' final yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Have you been watching Wimbledon?
No.
Oh man.
I haven't watched a second of it, Chris.
The Federer and Nadal game semi-final.
Oh
my god! It was another one of those. Like it just kept going. Federer had 5 match points.
Oh no!
And Nadal just kept coming back. But Federer eventually took it.
Did he?
He did. He took it.
He never does that against Nadal.
I know. So he plays Djokovic today in the final.
Brilliant!
Unbelievable.
How's Federer still kicking?
He's 38 next month, and he's moving about a court like I don't know what. He's like a blue bottle on speed.
Where did he win the last major he won again? Yeah, was it the last or was it the first he'd won in ages and he beat Nadal to get it? What was that?
Oh, probably could have been the US. Maybe.
Might have been the US Open, and they were both like the pair of them were just like it was one of the best tennis matches.
That's what
ever.
I mean.
At the end, they were just like it doesn't matter who won that.
Exactly. Yeah. You seen everybody, even in the royal box, people in they couldn't believe what was happening because these two guys just kept going at each other.
They have brought so many brilliant matches.
That's what they said. Between the two of them, they've won more collective titles than has been spread out throughout men's tennis in total.
That's
if that makes
insane.
sense. You know what I mean?
That is insane.
They've just brought so much to the game. It's crazy. Like so, Serena was beat yesterday in the final.
Oh, was she?
As well, yeah. So
who won that?
Halep, Simona Halep. You call her? She's what do you call them? Czech. Czech. I was going to call her Prague.
They're very good, aren't they? Now?
Yeah, they are. They're in the up and up. So, all the talk this year was about that wee girl, Coco Gauff, the 15-year-old
who beat Venus Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How far did she get?
Third round, I think. Okay. She did okay.
Yeah. I mean, what did she? 15, 16?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, that's incredible.
15. She hasn't even done GCSEs.
Oh my god.
Do you know what I mean?
Where is she from?
US. No, US.
Okay.
And she has like 3 or 4 sponsorships lined up already. So she's okay.
Yeah, she's doing all right.
Nothing for our Joe or Britain's number one.
What was the furthest they got?
Kyle Edmund got to the second round, I think, and he was beat, and Konta got to the quarterfinals.
Oh, okay.
But Andy Murray and Serena Williams are together in the mixed doubles.
Why?
And that's just because it's attracting crowds.
That's fair.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a power horse of a team. You know what I mean? To be fair, Serena's doing a lot of the legwork. But
so they're in the final now.
I don't know. I haven't kept up with that at all. I've just been. I'm waiting for the men's final today, and then I don't really care. I mean, it's the wheelchair doubles final first.
I was astounded when I heard that was a thing.
I don't.
Are they putting it on right before?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Good publicity.
Yeah, get the crowd.
I don't think they'll put it in centre though.
Oh,
what
right,
if they
fair.
wreck the court?
I mean, yeah. Then how can they play it in any court? They have special.
I'd imagine
courts?
so. Yeah.
No.
Special. Yeah. Maybe you have to be a certain weight as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. Here's something that I don't know if this will make a lot of sense for a lot of people who listen to it, but our local GAA, so that's like our local football teams in Ireland. There's a club, Kildress. Have you heard of this?
No.
They celebrate a record-breaking GAA club draw. So every club will kind of have a club draw. Well, most clubs around Ireland have a club draw where it's like a lotto, basically, or it is a lotto, isn't it?
Lotto,
yeah. But Kildress have raised a staggering 474,000 sterling for tickets in a club draw, with more money still to come.
That's insane.
This is incredible because most club draws, like Derry Noose, where we live, they went to 10 grand once. Remember that? And I was like, holy shit, no one's ever heard of this. 474.
They get the money, you pay in, and that money goes into a pot.
Yeah.
And then you win the pot.
Yeah.
So it's like it's all coming from people.
It's all coming from local.
It must just be a massive community. Where
is
it?
Kildress, which is God, you know what? I don't actually know. Oh, Gorda Clady. Where's that? I'm just saying places.
Yeah, people who aren't from here haven't a clue what's going on, Chris. Gorda Clady. GAA,
is it County Down? Maybe.
Kildress. Haven't a clue. Couldn't tell you.
I don't know. But anyway, I'm not.
Stirling though. It's in the north. I imagine.
Yeah, it is. I came from the Ulster Herald, so.
Oh, there you go.
Did you hear? Do you know this YouTube, Instagram star Emily Hartridge? No. Well, she was tragically killed. The first UK person to be killed in a fatal electric scooter accident, aged 35. Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, it's. Oh my god.
TV presenter and YouTube star has been killed in the first ever fatal electric scooter crash in the UK. Emily Hartridge died on Friday morning after her electric scooter collided with a lorry less than half a mile from her home in Battersea, South London.
Was she on the road on this electric scooter?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Is this one of these electric scooters that is like, okay, you know when you have a motorized scooter, like one you sit on, like one of those like a Vespa type thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it that, or is it those new scooters that you see, which is literally like a scooter which you normally use with your feet?
I don't actually know. That's a good point.
They're getting very popular.
They are, yeah. I think, God, now that you said that, it could be that actually.
I think it might be that, yeah. I seen a guy walking his dog in the park with one of those before. Not walking his dog so much as the dog was like carrying along beside him as he scootered.
Trying to see if I can. Emily was pronounced dead at the scene following the collision just after 8:30 a.m. Police are appealing for information.
Well, that is nasty.
No, there's first involving an electric scooter. I think that it is like one of those scooters, two wheels that you stand on. And it's motorized. Not like a moped.
Like a traditional. Yeah.
It's a traditional scooter.
That's crazy.
That is.
But
crazy.
I mean, like that's just, if it's on the road, it's inevitable. That's going to happen.
Yep. Spotted this week as well, a python casually eats a crocodile whole. And
nature is
and proves that nature
crazy.
Is brutal. Yeah. Photos published on the GG Wildlife Rescue Facebook page revealed a python eating a whole crocodile. Now this thing is big. The phrase biting off more than they can chew doesn't apply to pythons. They have a lower jawbone that's divided in two parts and connected by an elastic ligament. This allows their bones to spread so they can literally devour creatures, sometimes twice their own body size. I'll flick this around so you can see the picture.
Does it ever... It's only halfway
I know.
finished there?
Yeah. No, the whole thing goes in and then it just sits. and just I could sit for months and then it would just break
dissolve
down.
in that.
Yeah.
Do you see the ones where it does bite off more than it can chew? So it takes on like a deer or something, and it's just like it just splits.
God, it shouldn't
just
be
too much for its body.
God, why would it even think though?
Because it just knows it can do it. It's just like, I'm gonna eat this thing.
It looks so uncomfortable as well, you know.
Snakes are one of the most just bizarre animals.
I know.
Like,
do you ever see a fully grown anaconda?
no.
YouTube that when you get home. Holy shit! Like these things are like as wide as the table, and they might grow to like 20 meters long.
Those
Like,
are the things that like swirl up in around trees and all that. There.
they live in like a lot of swamp as
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
and like
yeah.
you know, in amongst like the mangroves and things like that in swamps. Oh god, these things are horrible. There was a film. Jessica Alba was in the film, I think, called Anaconda. It's
Yeah.
such a bad film.
Is it?
And then they made Anaconda 2, 3, and 4, I think.
Oh, there was an excellent thing on Reddit the other day. It was like just tracking like the progress of movie like series. And it did loads and loads and loads of them, but it was like, you know, say for example, Lord of the Rings was like, it was like user rating, IMDb rating, and then revenue, and like it was just like a solid, but almost a perfectly straight line.
Yeah.
At super high.
Yeah.
And then you have Jaws,
Yeah.
which started off like super high on everything, and then the next movie was like pretty good in revenue but
Yeah.
low in reviews,
Mhm.
and then the next one was just like low in everything, and then somehow the next one was just worse.
Yeah.
And there's
Oh,
this
God.
perfect fucking
Yeah.
drop. But
Do you know what I watched during the week? It was on TV. Jurassic Park.
I seen it on yesterday.
What a fantastic movie. That
Seen-
movie
seen
is so good.
A couple of clips of it. Actually.
I forgot like so much of that movie.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, you know, you always remember like the big parts, like the T-Rex and stuff, but it's all like the little side pieces. It's so good. Such a good movie. Another quick bit of news before we finish off. Ukraine is to chemically castrate pedophiles and rapists in prison under new laws.
Jesus.
New legislation could apply annually to thousands of men aged 18 to 65 found guilty of sex crimes against youngsters. They will see convicted pedophiles and rapists forcibly castrated by chemical injection. The legislation will potentially apply annually to thousands of men under the new correctional system. This involves the forced injection of anti-androgen drugs consisting of chemicals that should reduce libido and sexual activity. The law will apply to all child rapes, including unnatural rape and sexual abuse of children above and below the age of puberty, which run in the thousands at the minute.
That's pretty heavy, but that's kind of fucked up though.
I get it.
Oh yeah, I get it.
Go for it.
Do you ever see the film? What do you call it? It's about Alan Turing.
No.
But the Enigma Code.
No.
I forget what it's called. It's got Benedict Cumberbatch in it, but he, in real life, he wound up getting chemically castrated because he was homosexual, and that was illegal at the time.
Wow.
So instead of going to prison, he opted to chemically castrate himself. But apparently, it just fucks you. Well, back then, it fucks
So
you up.
what does it do? Just stops everything from working, basically?
Yeah, I think it just like it messes with your hormones and stuff, so
Wow.
you can't produce sperm or whatever.
sperm.
But it just fucks with your whole like obviously your whole body balance has to change. But yeah, he wound up killing himself because it was just
No way.
fucked up his life.
There is a movie with that, yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what you're saying, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like it seems fair in a way because it's like they've committed pretty heinous acts.
Yeah.
There's a really good show as well called The Missing on BBC. Did you hear about it?
I've heard of this.
Yeah, it was like it was a kid going missing, kind of Madeleine McCann-esque type stuff, right?
That wasn't James Nesbitt, was it?
It was James
Oh,
Nesbitt,
yeah.
But there's a guy in it, and he's like a big suspect, and he's a pedophile.
Mm-hmm.
But like it focuses on he wasn't the guy who did it, by the way. But it focuses on him a lot because it's like he knows what he is, but it's like he hates himself for being that way or whatever, and he opts to chemically castrate himself as well.
No way.
I think it fucks him up as well. Like so, it's like
Oh shit.
whenever I first heard that, I was like, that sounds like fair, but I'm like, I'd also like. It's weird. Like I'd probably fuck those people up. Like they're probably just going to be miserable
Dead people. Yeah.
It's like, but I don't know. Do we know enough about this stuff where you can like rehabilitate that, or is that just?
I don't know.
Is that just like a mental thing? You're just.
I think it could just be a mental thing. Yeah.
It's hard to say, but
It is. Yeah.
But started watching a show called Mindhunter on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
Which investigates goes into the mind of like serial killers and stuff.
God,
and
Netflix
like,
are just producing the gold, aren't they?
so good, but we'll probably have to do an episode on that
Yeah.
later.
Okay.
But it investigates a lot of stuff about like why are serial killers, pedophiles, shit like that, why are they like that, and it's nearly always how they're brought up, and it's like Maybe there's a way to like fix that.
What is it, like a traumatic experience?
Yeah, it's like parents beating them and molesting them and stuff like that. It's like when you're messed up at that young of an age, you just have a completely skewed perspective on the world and on like those kind of relationships.
Yeah. Jesus.
But, we got pretty heavy there, Chris.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I can. I'll finish on some lighter news. There is a bent pyramid in Egypt that is now open, oddly enough, for tourists.
So it's like and then.
Yes.
So anyone who didn't watch the video version of this.
So it's like a 2-tiered pyramid. Yeah. If that makes sense.
It's like it goes at one angle and then it goes like narrower up to the top.
Yeah.
It's bent. It's crooked.
Egypt has opened to visitors the bent pyramid built for the pharaoh Sneferu, a 101-meter structure south of Cairo that marks a key step in the evolution of pyramid construction. Tourists will now be able to clamber down a 79-meter-long narrow tunnel from a raised entrance on the pyramid's northern face to reach 2 chambers deep inside the 4,600-year-old structure. They will also be able to enter an adjoining 18-meter-high side pyramid, possibly for Sneferu's wife, Heterophes, opened for the first time since its excavation in 1956.
So, is there any other pyramids you can climb? No, this is like the first time you can climb a pyramid.
I think so. Yeah, a Great Pyramid, you can't climb that.
I know you're not allowed to climb it. I think people have climbed it, but like this is the first time they're like, yeah, climb it, work away.
I think so. Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think you're allowed to climb those things. They're all protected.
No, that would be yeah. Crazy.
The angular shape contrasts with the straight sides of Sneferu's Red Pyramid just to the north, the first of ancient Egypt's fully formed pyramids, with the next step towards the Great Pyramid of Giza.
Oh, right. So this actually is older than Giza.
Oh, yeah. This is old.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Let me see.
Did you hear something similar? What do you call that big red rock in the middle of Australia?
Oh, Ayers Rock?
Ayers Rock. But it's not called that anymore.
Is it not?
No, because it's called... That's like the guy who found it.
Oh, I'll look it up.
But see, this is the thing. It's like... They called it like Ayers Rock, right? But it's actually called like Uluru or something like that.
Oh, right, okay. Uluru, also
right?
known as Ayers Rock, yeah.
But like it's people used to love climbing it or whatever, and like they're banning that. You cannot climb it as of like September of this year anymore because it's like a sacred idol to like the Aborigine like tribes and to like local Aborigine culture. And they've like asked, there's been signs up for years saying like, please don't climb it. Like, come enjoy it and like respect it, but please don't climb it because it kind of like violates our
their code
beliefs,
of ethics.
Yeah. So after like years and years, they've finally said people won't be able to climb this after September, which is probably a really bad idea because they've given people all of the summer to try and climb it.
Jesus.
So basically, at the minute, you can see queues up to the top of this fucking thing.
Really?
Yeah, and
everybody's trying to climb it one last time.
Everyone's trying to get up there now, but obviously this has just pissed off the sort of local people even more because now there's like, okay, it's completely desecrated at this point.
The Aboriginal people are like fucking, they're crazy. Like
they fascinate me.
It's unbelievable. It's the same as those tribes in the Amazon and shit. Like there's some. Oh, it's fascinating. Like it really is. We were talking about something there, and I said, "Oh, Egypt, yeah, pyramids,
yeah, Egyptologists."
What were we saying? Oh, I was talking to the main man during the week actually about the building of the pyramids.
Oh yeah,
and about how we believe that, or how we could believe or don't believe that the Egyptians built them. Yeah. If you listen to that Bob Lazar,
the documentary or the
podcast? No, not him. Sorry, it's not him. It's who was it? He told me it was. There's another Joe Rogan has an Egyptologist on, an archaeologist on, who pretty much explains why he believes the pyramids were not built by the Egyptians, as we know it.
By the Egyptians or by people at all?
Both, kind of.
Ooh.
So it's really, you should look into that one. I will find that podcast, actually. I want to listen to that during the week. I might touch on that next week, though. But yeah, that's our news for the week.
Excellent.
It's a couple of light pieces. This is the Empty Promise podcast. You can find us over at youtube.com/excitegaming. That is the umbrella of operations we operate under. There you will find the video version of this podcast where you'll see me and Dee just sitting around the table. You'll hear the exact same podcast, only you get a bit of video with it. If you find us somewhere else on another podcast hosting service, thank you very much for finding us. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, these podcasts are weekly. You'll find us every single...
Don't lie to the people, Chris.
Okay, sorry.
These podcasts have been weekly in the past.
We've been quite good,
though.
Yeah,
we've been better now.
Yeah. But we do strive to make them weekly. Every Monday you will get the audio, and then later in the week you'll get the video, just depending on when we can get it up. It's usually a day or two in between the audio and the video.
Yep.
But audio every single Monday, and thank you for tuning in. get in touch with us if you want.
Tuning in, turning on. Thank you all very much.
This week... Oh, sorry. Hang on.
He saves the best for last, guys.
Yeah,
this is a little tease here.
Hang on. One second.
What do you got, Chris? Come on.
I'm working on it. So, my last bit of news kind of leads us into what we're going to talk about today. So going about the news at the minute is this apparent raid that was to happen in Area 51. So there was a petition? Not a petition, like a...
It's a group, like on Facebook.
Yeah.
An event. It's an event.
Where more than 600,000 people have signed up to raid the secretive military base Area 51 to see them aliens.
That's right.
Over 600,000 people have signed up to an event to storm Area 51, top US military base in the Nevada desert, in a quest to see them aliens. The event, titled Storm Area 51, They Can't Stop All of Us, invites attendees and to congregate en masse before entering the base together. The event, organized on Facebook, appears to be a tongue-in-cheek invitation rather than the first signs of a radical civil disobedience movement. This is made clear by the reference to the highly classified military base as the Area 51 Alien Center tourist attraction. The event, if it can be called such, is scheduled for the 20th of September. So...
Did you read as well, Chris, that they're going to... they say, if we Naratu run, we can move faster than their bullets. Let's see them aliens.
What is Naratu?
This is on Sky News if you wanted an explanation
of
this. Naratu run is the unique running style of the Naratu Uzumaki, the star of the Japanese anime series Naratu, who sprints with his arms stretched behind him. So he runs like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So if you do that, you might dodge enough bullets to actually make it into Area 51.
I don't think if 600,000 people storm, I don't think they're going to shoot them. Like, you know, I don't think it's not just going to be like a mass slaughter. I think
you'd be lucky to get 600 people.
Yeah.
To go there.
Yeah.
In the blazing hot sun.
I also think they'll run towards nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
because Area 51 is actually a mile away from where you think it is.
Exactly. And I mean, if the government have seen this, so let's say, for example, there was a load of shit there.
They moved it.
Yeah. I mean, they have to the 20th of September to get...
give
them a date, yeah. Why was this not just all secret? Well, I suppose it can't really be secret from the government.
They would have got 600,000 people.
Yeah, exactly. But the mysterious and heavily guarded Area 51 has been at the center of numerous conspiracy theories for decades, with supposed connections to humanoid life, alien life forms, and their supposed alien ships, which is what we're going to touch on today.
We're going to go through it all, Chris. We're going to go through Area 51. We're going to go through the UFOs. We're going to go through the military, what they've been doing, the shit they've been up to.
I'm looking forward to hear what you have here, D.
I got some bits and pieces, because I have to be honest, whenever I initially looked into all of this, I was, I'm probably still am, a skeptic of it all. Mm-hmm. Particularly like Bob Lazar, which we're going to touch on him quite a bit.
Yeah.
Basically seen two things about him. I've seen that he had a qualification from whatever universities, and then I seen that there was no proof that he had a qualification. And I was like, whatever, this is all bullshit. But as I dug deeper and deeper and deeper and got into it more, I kind of turned myself around, because there's too much. Maybe it's the intrigue and the mystery of the place, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there is too much.
I mean, if it's a fabricated story, it is.
It's a brilliant one.
Jesus, yeah.
But I just like to keep it open that they're probably doing more
than we know.
Than
we'll ever find out about.
And it mightn't be necessarily at Area 51.
No.
But it's interesting to speculate.
Yeah.
And Area 51 is kind of like the epicenter of all this stuff because of Bob Lazar. He's the guy who
kind of opened pull back the curtain on it.
Yeah, he said Area 51, all this shit's going down. Mm-hmm. And that's where we've kind of focused our attention to all of this. So it's kind of just become like one focal point for all of the hysteria about UFOs, about aliens, about all this stuff. Yeah. All pointing down to Area 51, this place in the Nevada desert, which is not a million miles away, but also not close to Roswell.
Roswell, yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of like
we touched on that in the previous podcast as well,
That's
the
right,
Roswell conspiracy. So if you want to find out more about that, just head back.
It was kind of the genesis of the UFO alien myth.
Yeah,
conspiracy. It was what do you call that? Incident Zero. It was the beginning.
Yeah, this was started this whole kind of thing.
And Roswell has become not Roswell. Area 51 has become the new like
epicenter.
Epicenter. What a word!
Thank you.
Terrific word. The new epicenter of it all.
Let's start off first of all then by what we actually know about Area 51.
Okay.
A little bit. So Area 51 is a U.S. Air Force military installation located at Groom Lake in southern Nevada. It is administered by Edwards Air Force Base in South California. It is not accessible to the public, and it is under 24-hour surveillance. Now, the only confirmed use of the installation is as a flight testing facility. During World War II, the U.S. Army Corps used the site as an aerial gunnery range. In 1955, the area was selected by the CIA as a testing for the Lockheed U-2, which was a high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft. President Dwight D. Eisenhower authorized the testing, which was to be conducted under the codename Project Aquatone. Testing began in July 1955. After the U-2 was put into service in 1956, the Area 51 was used to develop other aircrafts, including the A-12, known as Oxcart reconnaissance plane, and the stealth fighter F-117. In 1989, a man named what?
Just lost my page.
In 1989, a man named Robert or Bob Lazar claimed he worked on extraterrestrial technology inside Area 51. Lazar told Las Vegas television reporter George Knapp that he saw autopsy photographs of aliens inside the facility and that the US government used the facility to examine recovered alien spacecrafts. Although Lazar himself was discredited, his claims spawned numerous government conspiracy theories, most of which involved extraterrestrial life. Many people have reported seeing UFOs or unidentified flying objects in or around the Area 51 area, although the term is often used in the context of extraterrestrial speculation. On June 25th, 2013, the CIA approved for release declassified documents chronicling the history of the U-2 and Oxcart programs. These documents were released in response to a Freedom of Information Act request submitted in 2005. So they submitted it in 2005. It took the 2013 for them to get it. And they released the documents for the first time and which formally acknowledged the existence of Area 51 by the US government. According to the CIA, test flights of U-2 and subsequent military aircraft account for the UFO sightings in the area. Area 51 employees reach the facility by way of airplane. They fly in and out of restricted terminal at the McCarran International Airport on one of several unmarked planes permitted to fly through the airspace above Area 51. And until recently, satellite imagery of the installation was censored. As of 2018, Area 51 is visible on Google Maps.
Brilliant.
So there you go. That is everything that we kind of know for sure.
Everything that matters at a conclusion
Right
podcast. Yeah. So a lot to take in there.
Yep.
I think the biggest thing about it is Area 51, everyone knew about it since essentially 1983, was it? 1989 or whenever Bob Lazar initially came out with this
89,
stuff.
yeah.
And he claimed he'd seen a lot of stuff and he was discredited. I get that because he came out saying he was working on UFOs. He said he was seeing alien autopsy. He said he's seen a document that talked about the alien-human relationship for the last 10,000 years. He talked about a lot of stuff that just seemed completely wacky
completely
and weird.
left field. This would have been like the first time anyone would have mentioned that, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, people had
people had their speculations.
Yeah, the myth about UFOs and stuff existed, and it was very alive and well in that area of the world. California, right across New Mexico, Arizona, all those places, Nevada, would have been a hotbed for it. One of the reasons I think that they were so prevalent there is because Area 51 probably was a Air Force base that had tested fucking machinery. Yeah. So regardless of whether or not there's UFOs there or not, I think you can still put a lot of the UFO sightings down to the fact that it was an airbase, right? It has a runway.
Yep.
Okay, so even if you're just flying people in,
a big runway as well.
Yeah, a big runway. But even if you're just flying people in to work, there could be weird
exactly
stuff. One of the claims that Lazar made that was kind of backed up, I think, eventually, is that there's a flight there's a certain airplane that flies out of Washington with no tail number.
Oh,
or any
all unmarked.
Any markings, and it was used to transport people to and fro. Not just Area 51, but like just in general, airbases that were not classified
on
or
the map,
declassified. But yeah, it wasn't revealed as an official base until 2013.
No, yeah.
They worked on a super secret project called U2. I was in there. You have to remember that this was during the Cold War.
Cold War.
I say the World War. And at the time, having something like that known was, I think, particularly dangerous. If the Russians knew that America had or were developing an airplane that could fly so high above the sky
that it couldn't be detected,
but it could still take pictures, then that could have escalated tensions, etc., etc. So there was a reason to keep that secret. And then I think the US government and the Air Force used that this sort of cloud of mystery of UFOs and aliens and stuff to their advantage.
To how so? Like to cover up what they were actually doing?
The actual things that they were doing.
So they were working on like these...
they were working on like legitimate...
reconnaissance drones, basically.
Things.
But they were happy enough to keep it as, the people think we're UFOs, working on aliens. Yeah, let's go with that.
Just to keep,
That way Russia suspects nothing.
Yeah.
That way. Oh, yeah.
Pretty much, okay. But then it's interesting as well that they kept it quite long after U2. So U2, that was in the 60s, 70s, right? Lazar doesn't come out with his claims until the 80s.
Yep.
So it's valid to say that's what it started as. And it's valid to say that they probably kept working on new projects that they never like revealed because they obviously liked this element of secrecy that they had.
Yeah.
But whenever he came out and said these things, then it became like something completely different. Because now, rather than just being like an area of mystery, they're working on weird shit over there. Now it was like Area 51 is a place.
You can
point it out on a map. You can go see it.
Yeah, he's adding fuel to this fire.
Yeah, right. So it's like
he's essentially coming out and saying it's real because I've been there.
Yeah,
and I work there. He's making all these ridiculous claims.
But like it's bringing heat. So it's like it doesn't really make sense anymore for them to like just say, "Oh yeah, Area 51. Oh, they're working on weird shit in there." Because now people are going to go and they're going to watch people. They put up signs or like interstellar highway. There's like all this hype.
Did they put up signs? Yeah.
Oh yeah, people fucking all around there. They love shit like that. There's like a tourism industry out in the middle of nowhere.
Just based off of
the fact that it's near Area 51. But yeah, there's other stuff I read there before I lost my page there.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that they've talked about Area 51, they've tried to like declassify it in recent times,
such as
demystify it. Well, they revealed that it was a place. They revealed that it worked on U2 and the Ox something.
The Ox cart.
The Ox cart planes.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Like, this is what we did. Blah blah blah. That's what Area 51 is used for. And now it continues to do whatever.
Yeah.
Surveillance missions or whatever, right? But there's still things that they deny, such as an underground railway that people claim that they had, and they basically deny that that's real, despite the fact that most of their testing
is done underground,
and their facilities are underground. Yeah. So like, they're still keeping an air secrecy, which they have to do. I mean, it's not.
But why do they have to keep it now? Do you know? It's not like. Well, I was going to say it's not like they're working on anything that would like elevate tensions, but maybe they are.
We see this is it. I mean, whenever I was looking up conspiracy theories a while ago, I wound up on a Reddit thread, which was like, what's the most believable conspiracy to you or whatever, right? And a lot of people posted saying the government perpetuates the Area 51 UFO alien conspiracy because it keeps prying eyes away from what
they're actually doing.
Yeah. So whether they're doing it in Area 51 or somewhere else, they like this idea of, go Area 51, go look there. There's all kinds of weird shit going on, when there's probably nothing going on there. So to me, I was always convinced, I was in the mind of like Area 51, it's a red herring.
Yeah.
Right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that it has always been that way. I mean, there's a reason, there's no smoke without fire, there's a reason that it became the
what
epicenter
it is today.
Right? Bob Lazar, I didn't know this before, but he was the guy who initially, he blew the whistle, he said, this is the place, shit's going down, and this is what it is.
Yeah.
And he sounded crazy, still sounds crazy.
He does sound, he sounds loopy,
the
but
stuff that he's saying.
Yeah.
But this is where it started from, and people believed him.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. What's the name of the 1 second, I'll pick up his name here.
It's also important to say that what he has said is that he worked in he didn't actually work in Area 51 as such. He worked on, I think it's S14 or something he called it, which was a facility something like 14 miles away from Area 51.
Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, we've kind of discussed what Area 51 is and the mystery return. Now, might as well talk a bit about Lazar. And his claims and what exactly happened with him. Bob Knapp, I think is the name of the guy. Is it right? Yeah.
Knapp was the guy he talked to?
Knapp was the journalist who he initially approached and he made his claims with, and he's convinced that he's telling the truth.
George Knapp is?
George Knapp.
Yeah, okay.
And George Knapp, that's right. And he was involved in this most recent documentary on Netflix. Mm-hmm. He has been sort of involved with the whole way through.
The whole thing.
And he completely believes what Lazar is saying, right?
Okay.
So, okay. Do you want me to run over a couple of the details about his
the claims?
Yeah. In May of 1989, so it was actually a lot later than I thought.
Yeah, 89?
Yeah, it was 70 something. Lazar conducted an anonymous interview using the pseudonym Dennis. With Las Vegas-based reporter George Knapp. In the interview, which is included in the new documentary, along with a lot of other archival footage, Lazar describes working on the propulsion systems for 9 flying saucers of extraterrestrial origin in possession of the US military.
Yeah.
So straight in there, UFOs.
Yeah.
As we say, 9 UFOs they got.
Yeah.
And he was working on them. Mm-hmm. Which is just 1989. It's bizarre, right?
So, yeah.
He says the propulsion system is a gravity propulsion system, and the power source is an antimatter reactor.
Yeah.
He told Knapp during the original interview, this technology doesn't exist at all.
No.
So he's saying, in our current understanding of the world, it doesn't exist. Yeah. At the time, he claimed that the reason he came forward with information about extraterrestrial technology in the possession of the government was because he believed it to be a crime against the American people and scientific community to keep such information a secret. Shortly after his first interview, he broke anonymity and did several other interviews about his time at Area 51 using his own name. These were broadcast around the world and turned the top secret military base into a pilgrimage destination for UFO believers. Mm-hmm. As Knapp says in the most recent film, Bob really put Area 51 on the map. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're talking about. It was it was what it was intended to be, a secret base where they could perform
whatever
secret things. Yeah. And now, as of 1989,
it's now open for the public. Everybody is wishing to see.
It's a mecca for conspiracy theorists.
Yeah, absolutely. So Lazar claims that the propulsion studied was fueled by an atomic element at the time, which was 115 or moscovium, which was first synthesized in 2003. He explained that E115 generates a gravity wave. Now, in the podcast he did with Joe Rogan, he explained that basically the way he describes it is like a ball or a thing sitting there, but he could never touch it. He could never physically touch it. And when asked why not, he says because the gravity pushing off, this was emitting gravity basically. So no matter how hard he tried, it was forcing his hands away. Now nothing ever does that because as we know, gravity it pulls, it keeps things where they are. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, gravity for something to have. Yeah, that's the opposite of what gravity.
This is like reverse gravity.
Gravity
basically
attracts.
Yes. This was propulsion basically. So this is what he believes then was fueling these crafts or these 9 spaceships or extraterrestrial vehicles located in these hangars that he was contracted, if you like, to reverse engineer. They put it down as. So his job was to come in and strip it all back and find out how these things work or why these things work.
So we can use them.
This is a weird thing as well, D, right? Why would they ever hire people to come in and do this though?
Some very interesting speculation about that, Chris, coming up.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that was like, why would they ever?
Well, Chris, put it simply, you're going to need the best minds on this.
Yeah.
You're going to need the brightest and best to work this out.
Yeah.
So who else are you going to bring in? Bob
Lazar.
Lazar.
Yeah.
if his credentials are to be believed,
he's one of the best.
He is a very intelligent guy who could help with this, and they're going to need people to do it. You know, they can't keep this completely internal because you need people to come in who have got the knowledge to try and crack this thing. So you got to bring them in.
Did they never think though that any of these people would speak?
Well, this is it. I mean, that's a valid argument to make. It's like, if you got this technology and you're going to keep it completely 100% top secret, you know, how do you get people in who will not,
whistle blow?
Yeah, whistle blow. And it seems, it's one of those things, it seems nearly impossible that out of all the people they've had and over all the years it's been going on, how has nobody said anything? I mean, and okay, Lazar has said something. There's been a couple of other people who have said things less credible than him.
Yeah.
But it's like, is it realistic that they could have kept this secret for this long if this is all real? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
So that's something that always in my mind casts serious doubts on it.
Like, how could it have been kept secret for so long?
You know, at a certain point, like,
someone's got to say something to someone.
Even if it's completely accidental, even if they wrote it in their diary one time and they lost it.
Or maybe were they kept quiet, you know? Were they
they
paid off? Even so, like, paid off. Like, you're going to say something to somebody who's got a, you know, Chinese whispers.
Under threat. Threat of violence or death.
You know? Possibly, yeah.
Stuff like that. I mean, Lazar experienced that. He claims he was shot at.
Yeah, the experiences he talks about, like, he says when they first took them into the hangars and they walk these people in, there's like, I don't know how many, he said maybe 10 of them all walking in, and all these armed guards standing about. They were shouting at them, head down, eyes front, you know, don't be looking at anything else that's going on. So if it is staged, it's very well staged. He said he once put his hand on one of these crafts, and he said he never made that mistake again because he was very heavily chastised for it. You
know,
it's
you're under a lot of stress and pressure and threat.
Yeah.
But then he came out. He said all this stuff. Yeah. He claims he was shot at.
Yeah.
I've seen that very briefly in the documentary. So, you know, what made it worth it for him to put himself under this risk?
Yeah. Because even when he's on the Joe Rogan podcast, even when he begins to speak, the first thing Joe Rogan says is, like, I appreciate you telling your story, even though it's causing you massive stress. And Lazar, apparently at the time of the podcast, has got a massive migraine just from the stress of telling this story. It's something that he doesn't like doing. Now, whether that is put on or forced, I don't know, but he did seem while he was speaking, he kept, like, stopping. And you could see it was causing him pain or, you know, traumatic experience. I don't know what it is. So, it's all really.
One of the questions that you could raise to sort of cast doubt on this is, why hasn't he been silenced?
Yeah, that's what I thought. True. Yeah, why have is it that he's too much of a public figure now, and that if the government were to silence him as such, it would be like, well, why are they silencing
too
him?
much?
Exactly.
That is fair. I mean, I was kind of thinking, comparing him, you know, Julian Assange, WikiLeaks guy.
Yes.
So he basically has been done for a couple of different things. This is very interesting now, right? So okay, so essentially, whenever
we're digging.
Whenever he started, like, releasing classified documents and stuff, he's up for so much in the US. Like, he's gonna go to jail for a long time if he gets extradited back, right? Yeah. But it's like he was all doing this, you know, in the name of good. He wanted people to be aware of what the government are doing, all the bad things they'd be at, and stuff like that. And Chelsea Manning is another one who did that, and she's in prison now for revealing state secrets. She's a traitor, etc. They were all done for it. Like, they have charges against them. But Lazar didn't.
No.
And he was able to keep... This is another thing. This started off as a con for Lazar, right? I thought this would maybe prove, well, hey, it's not believable that this stuff is true. Because they should have silenced him. They should have took some action to try and stop him bringing this stuff out. But they didn't really. But there was a thing with him. He was... He's fallen ill, or he's fallen on the wrong side of the law a couple of times in his life.
Oh, has he?
He has, yeah. So he was done in... let me quickly see if I can get up the stats about this, so I'm not just talking completely from memory. I don't think I have saved it, unfortunately. Yeah, but essentially he was done for...
what was it, like minor things, or was it still in, like, the scientific field?
It wasn't super minor, right? It was something to do with prostitution.
Oh, right. Okay. All right.
1 second. I'm going to find it.
Oh, I can get it here. Do you want me to get it here?
Have you got it?
Yeah. In 1990, Lazar was arrested for aiding and abetting a prostitution ring.
Yep.
This was reduced to felony pandering, to which he pleaded guilty. He was ordered to do 150 hours of community service and stay away from brothels and undergo psychotherapy. During trial and under oath, Lazar again claimed degrees from MIT and Caltech. And bankruptcy documents verify that Lazar was self-employed as a film processor.
Okay. Couple of stuff to go over there then, right?
Yeah. So
first off, the
1990, the prostitution ring.
The prostitution ring, right? So that's shortly after
a year after he makes these claims.
So that kind of, in my mind, parallels to the whole thing with Julian Assange and WikiLeaks. He was done for, I think it was a case of rape back in Sweden or somewhere, his home country, which was like, at the time, it was a big deal. It was like, they're going to get him back. They're going to incarcerate him for that, and then they'll extradite him to the US. And that was like how they were going to get him. Yep. And obviously he fled to like the Ecuadorian fucking embassy. He's been there for years and years, and he's only been recently been taken away from there, right? But like in the time that he was on the run, we'll say, it sort of came up that case with rape was kind of like a damp squib. There wasn't really much to it,
right?
You know, there wasn't much standing up to it. It actually has been completely dismissed,
right? Okay.
In the time since, so it's almost as if, you know, they were trying to find anything at all to get him in.
To get him.
Similar to Lazar, possibly. I don't know enough about the thing with Lazar is that he has been so quiet for the last 30 years. Yeah. You know, there's so little information about him that's been sort of frequently reported. But there you go. There's something that they could have been trying to do to try and keep him quiet. You know, his life was brought up into the media in 1989 with this big reveal, and then in 1990 he gets done for something very embarrassing. Yeah. Peddling, prostitution, stuff. And maybe that's why he slinks way back into the undergrowth and we don't hear from him for 30 years, because he kept quiet about this for 30 years. Yeah. Like, he made his claims, he made his interviews. Yeah. He didn't write a book, he didn't roll, he didn't get his money in, he didn't cash in.
He just left, he just vanished.
Quiet for 30 years, and then he comes back reluctantly to do this
Netflix
documentary to do, and has migraines talking to Joe Rogan. You know, part of me doesn't want to believe him at all, but shit like that kind of, it almost works in his favor. Another thing that you mentioned there
under trial
was his credentials.
Oh, his credentials, yeah.
So he has a degree from MIT.
Yes, so that's what I mean. His claims under trial, under oath, he claimed degrees from MIT and Caltech.
Yeah, so that's, you know, okay. Here's one thing for you, right? He claims these 2 degrees, yet both Caltech and MIT deny or have no record of him having attended.
How can they say that? You know, how can they deny that? How can he claim it under oath and then them deny it?
There you go. Is that not perjury?
Yeah.
So either people aren't interested enough to take that up. You know, that's another way of silencing him. That's another way of kicking up dust into his story.
Wouldn't he have like a certificate or something?
Well, this is it, but none of this has come forth, Chris. So he claims he's worked at both, or he studied at both of these places.
Yeah. Like he has degrees from them, you know, apparently.
That's what he claims. Yeah. And he knows this, like he's not unintelligent. That's the
thing.
He
knows his shit. Like, I mean, he was brought in to reverse engineer spacecraft, apparently.
Oh, sorry.
I'm an open-minded guy.
Well, that's it. You got to keep a bit of an open mind here,
or else
100%. We can just shut this all down and go like, no, there's not, because it doesn't really hold up. No, but there's enough questions to be raised here to kind of dig deeper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and that's what I love.
Which is what we're doing here. Yeah.
But you know, that was probably the biggest question mark around Lazar for me, is that, you know, why claim if you don't have proof of these degrees?
Yeah.
Why
claim it? Yeah.
You claimed it in court, which is interesting because if they can prove definitively that you don't, that's perjury. He claims, or the claim is that those institutions have denied his attendance after his claims.
After he makes these... So basically...
So they don't want to be associated with this.
Yeah.
There was another thing, Chris. I'm going to quickly find it, about a place where he worked. Another sort of prestige institution.
Because we talked a little bit about why he came out. Maybe it's all good publicity, isn't it? Like,
for him?
For both?
Oh, for the institutions?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it could also be bad publicity. You know, a lot of these things don't want to be associated with...
His claims as well could be good publicity for Area 51. Or Area 51.
What do they benefit out of it?
Well, as you say, like, keep the people thinking that there's something there when really, you know, we're working elsewhere. We are so far away doing so much other shit. I don't know. Something else on Lazar here. Then he was called in to reverse engineer this or whatever. He claims that during his onboarding to the program, he read briefing documents describing the historical involvement with Earth for the past 10,000 years by extraterrestrial beings, grey aliens. These aliens are from a planet orbiting the twin binary star system, Zeta Reticuli.
Yeah.
Reticuli.
That's when it starts getting into like the realm of science fiction and stuff.
That's when I was like, oh shit.
Doesn't sound like, it sounds a bit...
When he's explaining this on the podcast, it's like, he sounds so convincing.
He's sure of himself.
Oh, like, sure. Yeah.
It's crazy, like.
Yeah.
He knows.
It's nuts.
He knows.
He knows.
He read it on a government document. Yeah. There's just so many questions that come up about him. Let me see here. So we got his claims, we got his credentials that were casting it out. There was definitely, I can't get it up here, Chris, but there was a place that he worked that initially denied that he worked there. I don't know. Have you got his Wikipedia page up?
I can, yeah.
Information about him. There was a place that he worked, and they initially denied that he worked there, but later documents prove that he did work there for a time. Payroll documents or something like that came up.
Let me see if I can find.
So there was sort of.
He took electronics courses in the late 1970s. He claims he earned a master's degree in physics from MIT and a master's degree from Caltech. However, there are no records. Furthermore, Lazar was not a member of a professional body. Lazar speculates that his academics records were erased. Mm-hmm. It was discovered by investigative journalist George Knapp that Lazar was identified as an employee of Los Alamos in a 1980s newspaper article in which he was on the cover.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he worked for this Los Alamos place, which is like Los Alamos. I'm pretty sure it's like it's one of those like research
labs
and development labs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like it's not. You don't get in there with no credentials essentially. Yeah. So that was a claim as well. That's sort of there might be some truth to that there deep down. Basically, I wanted to assess whether is there enough hints to believe Lazar to go into it with his claims. You know, I think there's definitely enough to doubt.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough to make the open-minded person want to learn more. I think, you know?
I mean, it made me want to learn
exactly more. Yeah.
He talks about these crafts as well, I should mention. So he says that he and one other, his lab partner or whatever, were contracted, if you like, to work on this one spaceship. And he was asked, you know, did he see the other ones? And he said he could just see them like through like the hangar doors. There would be like these 9 giant hangars opened up and he could see them. Each were different shapes. He says that the one that he was working on was just kind of spherical. He was inside it once. And when inside it, he said it was all very small and compact. There's a couple of different like levels to it. The top level, he says there was 2 seats and what he can only describe as like a control station. There was no computer screens though. There was no buttons, no dials, no nothing. There was just a space in the middle of the 2 seats where he believed this what do you call it? This element would have been, the power, the whole thing. He says that it would have been no more than 4 feet high, so he wasn't able to stand in it.
Okay.
And it looked like everything had like he says if you imagine you take like a full layer of wax and just melt it slightly, there was no right angles in the ship whatsoever.
All right.
He said everything was kind of like just
rounded,
smooth, very aerodynamical. And
that's fucking trippy.
He peered underneath into like because there's like a hatch area in the floor, and he peered underneath, so he's kind of looking at it upside down, and he could see where there was spaces for different components and stuff that obviously were not there. That was the craft that he was working on, or he was contracted to work on, and then there was these 8 others, all completely different shapes and sizes.
See, when I hear shit like that just sounds just too bizarre for me.
Too science fiction, too like
But I just can't. I know. I can't square that in my own head.
No,
that's crazy, though.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. Anybody listening to us right now, you have to listen to the podcast or go and watch Joe Rogan and Bob Lazar, and then he also has the Netflix documentary, the movie at the minute.
Yeah.
Which again, watch that.
It's getting some heat as well. It's getting popular. There was a few things that. Obviously, he's got big claims to make, and not a whole pile to back it up.
Yeah.
Really, you're taking his word for it, and whether you want to believe him or not, you got to consider what he is as a source. So if he's a Caltech and MIT educated physics guy who worked at S4 50 miles away from Area 51 as part of this government mandated investigation into alien spacecraft. Can you trust him? I don't think you can, but I think if you want to learn more about it, you gotta listen.
You have to.
You gotta listen to what he's saying. Here's a couple of things, Chris, that I thought were very interesting. Things that kind of work in his favor for perhaps he's not completely full of shit. Obviously, the element he talked about, element 114, he called it, later discovered to be Moscovian, yeah. So it has been synthesized 4 times total.
Wow.
Okay, so he's talking about this element 114, which had not been created yet. It was later, 2003, I think. It was synthesized in a Russian lab.
115, sorry. Element 115.
115.
Yeah.
Synthesized in a Russian lab.
In a Russian lab.
It has been, in total, it has been synthesized 4 times.
4 times.
And it has been kept stable for incredibly short periods of time. It's not a stable element. They can't create it. They can't put it into a ball like he described, right? So he was able in 1989 to talk about element 114 before it had been synthesized. Yeah. All right. Now he talked about it being an antimatter component. We know now that it's a real thing, that it can be synthesized, but it's very hard to keep there for a long period of time. So it kind of proves and disproves what he's talking about. So we can't say for certain that if you can keep this element in a ball like that, that it will have those properties. You can't say that it doesn't do that, but we do know that it exists. Yeah. So it's kind of like in this weird limbo, like everything he talks about. It's kind of like there's probably no reason to believe it, but there's a little bit of a hint there, right? So he knew that it could exist, essentially. He knew that element 115 could exist. Is that because he saw it?
So did everybody believe that it could exist back then, or where did he pluck this from?
No, this is what I mean. No, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't know if it could.
This wasn't like a widely believed thing.
No.
So where did he pluck this from?
Well, that's it. One of the articles I read suggested that if he really was a physics master student at MIT and Caltech, then you probably could speculate that there's an element 115. But you wouldn't, would
that not have worked the other way? That if he was a physics student from Caltech, he would be thinking, he would have the knowledge of the rest of these physicists of thinking, no, it doesn't exist?
No. It's like there's something. Do
you know what I mean by that?
I can't. Yeah, I do. But it's like he has. I can't tell you how exactly the the periodic table works. Yeah. But it's like there's certain properties as you go up in the elements, like certain properties change. It's like the number of atoms, the number of electrons, something like that. Okay, We're not physicists, by the way. No, as you can probably tell.
Do not pretend to be.
So you can theorize about what
this and this could make.
What could exist. Oh yeah. You could say, okay, there could be an element out there.
Your whole life is theory.
There could be an element out there that has 16 ionized atoms or some shit like that. I don't know physics very good. Okay. So you could theorize what it is. So as a student, he could probably know that and theorize and say element 115, right? And then years later it gets synthesized and it gets proven, right? Or he could have seen it, studied the properties of it, and seen that it has
firsthand, like he's making these claims.
It has so many neutrons, electrons, blah blah blah, and then years later they synthesize it for very brief periods of time to prove that it is an element, it exists, but we can't put it in your hand and show you it. Yeah. Right? So it's kind of in that limbo state. The other thing that I thought was really interesting, right? He makes all these claims about working Area 51. He says he was in a spaceship and stuff. None of this can be proven. Just can't. Yeah. They didn't, they're never going to declassify those type of documents, right? But there's one thing that kind of...
This is something, just touching on that. Why would he never rat out the other people that were there?
Why would he need to rat them out?
Well, I mean, maybe one of them would speak up as well. and go, yes, I was there too?
Yeah, yes. I'd say, yeah, if
Do
you
you know
rat
what I
them out, though, I think they deny. You'd have to get them on board to work with you.
I wonder why they've never been on board. Or I wonder if his what he's saying is true. That means that there's, maybe 10 other people out there who are going, shit, should we speak up? Their lives could be in turmoil right now.
Right enough. But see, maybe they could be under a lot of pressure. Don't do what Lazar did, or we'll fucking kill you. Or maybe they don't exist.
True, that's the other yeah.
Here's one thing, Chris, that might help you believe. In the 1980s, Lazar claimed that the S4 base had biometric identification systems that was able to scan the bones in employees' hands to identify them. In the film, Corbell, who's the producer or the director of the film, produces a recently declassified picture of a device that sort of matches Lazar's description, and Lazar comments that this is the first time he's seen this device since working at the base. So there is something there. That could be a case of Lazar describes something. This looks kind of like it, and then Lazar jumps on it and he goes, "Yep, that's what I used." It's not definitive, but it's kind of like
there's something there.
Yeah, as things get declassified as we go on and on,
kind
of more shit sort of comes in. But more on element 115. It's an incredibly radioactive substance and one of the heaviest elements ever discovered. To date, only 4 Moscovian isotopes have been produced in a lab, each popping into existence for a few fractions of a second. According to Lazar, however, the extraterrestrial craft he worked on used a stable version of element 115 to warp gravity around the craft and propel it forward. So far, scientists haven't been able to produce a stable element 115 isotope even close to what Lazar described. Beyond that, we don't even really know what gravity is, much less how to manipulate it. So if what he's talking about is real, it's way beyond our understandings.
But maybe the government have like the best of the best, and they can fuel and fund this research, and maybe it does exist.
Well, this is it.
Or maybe it came from somewhere else.
That's it. Yeah.
Maybe it came from this fucking...
The ship?
But where did it come from? The binary... The star system?
Oh, yeah. The
Zeta something? Yeah.
Well, this is like what Lazar claims is that this is extraterrestrial. We do not have the technology.
We don't possess this, yeah.
Right. Here's another sort of thing. It's possible that someone with his level of scientific knowledge, Lazar we're talking about here, wouldn't find it difficult to describe the properties of a theoretical element in vague terms based on its place in the periodic table. So, he could have this.
Yeah, he can kind of bullshit this if you like, because he knows.
Possibly. Yeah. But that would imply that he has a high level of scientific knowledge, which might also lean towards the fact that he studied in Caltech and MIT, but he didn't, so... It's basically, Chris, it leaves everything up in the open. That's the takeaway, I think, from the documentary as well, is that, we're not saying that this is true. We're not saying this is false. We're calling him a liar. We're not calling him a whistleblower. We're just saying this is what he claims.
Yeah.
This is what
we know.
This is his story. Yeah. Okay. That is Bob Lazar, and it's crazy.
It's heavy. It's some heavy stuff.
I love it, though.
Same. Yeah. Because it just opens a world that, I didn't even know existed. Do you know what I mean? It's like, wait, people worked here?
Yeah. I dismiss it so frequently. But it's like... Because UFOs aren't even that crazy a concept,
No. Anything that's unidentified. Yeah, exactly. People hear UFO, they're automatically picturing this saucer and a little grey guy sitting in it. But it can, as far as we're concerned, if that U2 that they were working on, that was a UFO. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This could just be advanced tech coming from somewhere, or it could be complete bullshit.
So, but Roswell was what, 47 or something?
Yeah.
Would they have had the capabilities of making such things back then?
No.
So where did
Roswell was it's like a misnomer. I think it's it may well have been they claimed it was a weather balloon, right?
Yeah.
It may have been some advanced tech coming from the nearby Roswell or the nearby Air Force Base. I don't think it was Area 51; it was a different one. But the government allegedly covered that up. There was talk about all this weird technology at the scene. It may have just been a weather balloon, right? That was 47. That just kicked off this
whole
hype, right? The shit that they have 9 of these things. It wasn't 9 things at Roswell, right? No. They're not coming from it. They're coming from somewhere else, if they exist at all. 9 is just too big a number.
Yeah,
it could have been buried there. Could have been there for millennia, Chris.
Yeah.
Or they could have landed.
And as we know, all their research is done underground.
Well, this is it, yeah.
Jesus.
La. What else did I have about Lazar? I don't think I have much else about him, Chris. I had some stuff about Area 51 in general, but I kind of lost that page. The Aurora. Did you ever hear of the Aurora aircraft, Chris?
No, I have not.
It was a project that was linked to Area 51, and it was sort of shrouded in a lot of mystery. A lot of people claim it was the B-2 bomber. That's that big wide B-2 bomber. But it was allegedly worked on and produced at Area 51, so it's something that they may have been working on during this period. That might have explained the secrecy. It might have explained why they wanted this hysteria of UFOs and etc. to kind of cloud what was actually going on. Here's an article, Chris, that I find very interesting, coming from the Boston Globe. This is important now because it was written by Helene Cooper, Ralph Blumenthal, and Leslie Keane, right?
Okay.
And Leslie Keane's a name that's going to pop up in a minute with other stuff I want to talk about. The guy, Louis Elizondo, who led a Pentagon effort to investigate UFOs until October of this year. He resigns in protest to what he characterized as excessive secrecy and internal opposition to the program. In the $600 billion annual Defense Department's budgets, $22 million is spent on the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. It was almost impossible to find in the budget reports, which is how the Pentagon wanted it. For years, the program investigated reports of unidentified flying objects. According to Defense Department officials, interviews with the program participants, and records obtained by the New York Times, it was run by a military intelligence official, Louis and Elizondo. I can't say his name right.
Louis E.
The Defense Department has never before acknowledged the existence of the program, which it says it shut down in 2012, but its backers say that while the Pentagon ended funding for the effort at that time, the program remains in existence. For the past 5 years, they say, officials with the program have continued to investigate episodes brought to them by the service members, while also carrying out their other Defense Department duties. So essentially, this is a UFO identification service that is run by the Pentagon, right?
Yeah.
So I guess $22 million a year, or it used to get $22 million a year, but it's been kept quiet ever since. It's sort of why. Where does the government need to do this if they're the ones producing the UFOs? You know, I just think that's interesting, right? The shadowy program, parts of it remain classified, began in 2007 and initially was largely funded at the request of Harry Reid, the Nevada Democrat back in Nevada, who was the Senate Majority Leader at the time and who has long had an interest in space phenomena. Most of the money went to an aerospace research company, so it's a contracted thing, right? Run by a billionaire entrepreneur and longtime friend of Reid's, Robert Bigelow, who works with NASA to produce expandable craft for humans to use in space. So basically, right, there was a lot of money being spent on identifying UFOs by the US government, by a guy in Nevada who was skeptical about this entire kind of concept, right? It's like, if they're the ones
who are
doing
funding this,
right?
Yeah.
But if they have 9 UFOs at Roswell, in Area 51, why are they looking to try and identify UFOs? Like
cover-ups.
So people making those laws don't know about
the stuff that's going on
in Area 51, or it's not real.
It's not real.
They're doing this out of the interest of national safety in case there's Russian fucking fighter jets flying over or something. One second. So there was another sort of mystery around UFOs that cropped up whenever the USA got really invested into planes, essentially.
Planes?
Okay. So fighter jets.
Okay.
Surveillance planes, bombers, all that sort of stuff. In like World War times, there was a lot of like mysterious, like weird things identified, right?
Yeah.
At the time, it was always just dismissed to like, oh, this guy, you don't see what you think you can see. Then radar came into the mix. And it was kind of a bit more interesting. Now you're picking up things on radar that you can't even see, but you can know that it's there by radar. That was always just like sort of thrown down to discrepancies in the radar system, right?
Yeah, of course.
But now we're talking 2007. And we're talking about Navy Navy pilots reporting to their superiors objects that had no visible engine or infrared exhaust plumes,
Yes.
but that they could reach 30,000 feet and hypersonic speeds. That's from the summer of 2014 to March 2015. High in the skies over the east coast of America. These things would be out there all day, said Lieutenant Ryan Greaves, an F/A-18 Super Hornet pilot who had been with the Navy for 10 years and who reported his sightings to the Pentagon and Congress. Keeping an aircraft in the air requires a significant amount of energy. With the speeds we observed, 12 hours in the air is 11 hours longer than we'd expect.
Jesus.
In late 2014, a Super Hornet pilot had a near collision with one of the objects and an official mishap report was filed. So, official report. Some of the incidents were videotaped, including one taken by the plane's camera in early 2015, which shows an object zooming over the ocean waves as pilots question what they are watching. Wow, what is that? What is that, man? One exclaims. Look at it fly. No one in the Defense Department is saying that the objects were extraterrestrial, and experts emphasize that the earthly explanations can generally be found for such incidents. Lieutenant Graves and 4 other Navy pilots, who said in interviews with the New York Times that they saw the objects in 2014 and 15, make no assertions of their provenance. But the objects have gotten the attention of the Navy, which earlier this year sent out new classified guidance for how to report what militaries call unexplained and aerial phenomena, or unidentified flying objects. So essentially, UFOs are still
about today. These are skilled trained pilots who are picking up on stuff.
You're seeing weird shit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, basically, right, this is just the stuff that really interests me, right? It's like there's like all these different tiers, right? So you've got Area 51, you've got this alleged technology that's going on down there, right? That's classified by a certain level, right?
Yeah.
And then you've got Congress guys who are trying to investigate it, who don't know about this.
The Area 51
and you've got
stuff.
Navy pilots who are witnessing shit that they don't know about, and it's like all these different levels of clearance.
Nobody's telling anybody anything, basically.
Well, yeah. And it could be legitimate. It could be like that one part of the US government is working on a very advanced, secret, new fighter jet.
Yeah.
And the Navy don't know about it, and they shouldn't know about it. Or it could be that Lazar isn't completely crazy after all.
Yeah. And there's some truth behind what he's saying.
They're testing this stuff, and
Jesus. I like to think that's...
I just think it's really interesting.
That's where we're going.
But yeah, the last thing I wanted to talk about, right,
Mm-hmm.
was this thing that happened very recently.
Oh.
So all this stuff is like, these are all sightings, and they're all spots, and they're all like whatever. We don't really...
Yeah.
There's no way to confirm any of it. It's all hearsay, etc., etc. Just last month, Chris. Let me see here. I'll get the dates up here for you.
Last month?
Last month of this year, 2019.
Jesus.
Well, let me find it for you. In early June, things popped up on Imager.com.
Mm-hmm.
Pictures of, again, it's alleged, but these are pictures of documents, right? The appearance of what are purported to be notes taken on October 16th, 2002, right? Notes taken 2002 by scientist Dr. Eric Davis during a meeting with the U.S. Navy's Vice Admiral Robert Thomas R. Wilson. Davis is Chief Science Officer of Earth Tech International Incorporated and the Institute for Advanced Studies in Austin, Texas. His bio claims that his research includes propulsion physics, interstellar flight, beamed energy propulsion, directed energy weapons, quantum gravity theories, and SETI xenoarchaeology. SETI being search for extraterrestrial intelligence. So kind of a fucking, pretty much exactly what you expect from a UFO kind of alien believing kind of guy, right? The notes can be found on the website Imager. There is no way to know if the notes are real or a clever fake. If fake, they join Clifford Irving's Hitler Diaries and Melvin Dumar's so-called Mormon Letter as among the most famous hoaxes of all time. If the notes are real, they have the potential to upend everything we think we know about our place in the universe.
Jesus. What's the Mormon Letter?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That'll be another. The notes concern events which took place during the spring of 1997 when Wilson was Deputy Director of Intelligence for the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Vice Admiral Wilson was the 13th Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency, the DIA, from 1999 to 2002. Other flag rank assignments, sort of skip that.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically just talking about his credentials. While there's room for doubt about the notes, there is no doubt that Wilson is, quote, the real deal. So he was like high up level of defense intelligence, right?
Yeah.
The meeting between the two men happened in the back of Wilson's car, which was supposedly parked in the back of the EG&G Special Projects building, which at the time was in the Janet terminal of the McCarran Airport in Las Vegas. So we're still in Nevada, okay? Janet Airlines, this is what I was talking about earlier, is the unofficial name given to the highly classified fleet of passenger aircraft operated by the US Air Force as an employee shuttle to transport military and civilian contractor employees to the Nevada National Security Site, which is known as Area 51. Workers are flown out in the morning and back in the evening. In the image of one of the airplanes below, you can notice the lack of markings in the plane and the lack of a tail number, both of which are highly unusual. That's the picture there. So basically it's just a nondescript, regular looking plane.
Just a plane with nothing on it.
Just no markings. There's a big red stripe that runs right through it. No tail sign, no business, it doesn't have the name of the airline or nothing on it. Just very basic.
Just a plain plane.
So that is how they navigate people to Area 51 and back. Right. Apparently, okay? Yeah. Contractors as well. So these are the people we're talking about. The likes of Lazar.
Yeah.
Guys who aren't government.
Yeah.
Being brought in to help.
Brought in to work. Okay.
The notes begin with Dr. Davis asking Vice Admiral Wilson, so he's Vice Admiral at the time, about a meeting which supposedly took place on April 9th, 1997 in a conference room at the Pentagon. According to the notes, at that meeting were UFO researcher Dr. Stephen Greer, Apollo 14 astronaut Dr. Edgar Mitchell, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander Willard Miller, Wilson himself, Admiral Michael Crawford, and General Patrick Hughes. So a couple of big names there, a couple of big guys. While Davis' notes don't state what the purpose of the meeting was, the notes include statements made by Greer and Mitchell which imply that the purpose was to bring to the attention of the military the existence of private contractors who were studying alien technology.
So the likes of Lazar.
Perhaps.
Jesus.
Private contractors who were studying alien technology. So this is reaching the military. The same military who were operating in the sky, spotting mysterious objects, the same levels of government that were searching for UFOs without knowledge of this alleged activity, okay? This is just where, when I was reading this the other night, this has got me so... I was just like, I've worked it out.
Yeah, that's it.
It's all clicking, even though it's probably all bullshit, but like, it's just very, very interesting to me. Now, these pictures are all on Imager, right? So they're pictures of a document, and the document is notes of a meeting.
Okay.
With a guy who's talking about events that happened years ago. So it's very far from being first-hand proof. Yeah. But the notes are very interesting and sort of, they add a level of sort of authority to this that we never really see with this stuff before. Okay. The notes also detail how a recently published book came up in the meeting the day after Roswell by Philip J. Corso, which alleged that alien technology recovered from Roswell in 1947 ended up in the hands of the private industry. That's Philip J. Corso. So I'm not sure if you want to go read that book or not, but apparently...
The day after Roswell?
The day after Roswell, yeah.
Yeah, I've just read that.
According to the notes, as Wilson spoke to Lieutenant Commander Miller, Wilson said that he knew about intelligence on US military / intel on UFO close encounters and foreign government encounters. This was 5 years before the AATIP Pentagon program was begun. The AATIP was what I was talking about previously, the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. So this is the thing that started 2007 and got $22 million from the defense budget. It was allegedly closed in 2012 with its director Louis Elizondo going on to become a founding member of the non-profit To the Stars Academy of Arts and Science. So this is Elizondo, the guy who left
because,
in protest. Wilson purportedly told Davis that in June 1997 he was able to confirm that there is such an organization in existence in relation to MJ12/UFO Cabal. Crashed UFO. So
he has acknowledged and said that this is real, that there is an organization.
This is Wilson. This is Wilson who was in the meeting. Yeah. Oh no, this is Wilson, the actual guy who was like deputy director of defense intelligence, told Davis that in June 1997 he was able to confirm there is such an organization in existence. talking about UFO cabal, crashed UFO. Cabal, the article says here, the use of the word cabal is interesting. Cabal suggesting more than one group, possibly 9. Miller discussed this meeting with Wilson. So Miller, just get you guys clear on this here. Miller is another, I read his name at the top, 1 second. Willard Miller, U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander. Willard Miller, right? Mm-hmm. And he's talking with Wilson, who is Deputy Director of Defense Intelligence. Miller discussed this meeting with Wilson in a May 2000 article by author Leslie Kean. Leslie Kean is the guy who wrote that article about the guy leaving his job from the advanced intelligence, trying to find UFOs. Appeared in the Boston Globe newspaper. In that article, Miller expressed concerns that the military's lack of openness about UFOs could cause dangerous misunderstandings and that precipitous military decisions may lead to unnecessary confusion, misapplication of forces, or possible catastrophic consequences. Talking about UFOs being spotted in the sky and people, overreacting to that.
What kind of catastrophic?
Well, you see,
consequences.
I don't really know. I think that's probably just talking about like what things could go wrong. So, just gonna quickly find the sort of highlights of this. The notes are quite extensive. There's a lot of discussion back and forth, but they're mainly talking about this guy Wilson. Whenever he learns that this is all legit, or has a sort of confirmed, he starts to investigate, sort of looking into who's doing this and what exactly is going on. He spoke with former U.S. Secretary of Defense William Perry, who told him to go through the OUSDAT records. OSU, don't really know what that is. Office for the Undersecretary of Defense for Acquisition and Technology. That's where he had to go. Look through the records, essentially, to try and find out what's going on. Wilson reportedly said that these people helped him, told him of a special projects record group not belonging to the usual special access projects, a special subset of the unacknowledged / waived programs not belonging to the usual divisions as organized in 1994, set apart from the rest and buried / covered by conventional special access programs. So essentially hidden under normal looking ones, these sort of subset things. They are SAPs, or programs that are run by private contractors, so not government, outside of congressional oversight. So Congress doesn't have access to what's happening there, and possibly even armed services oversight. So no Navy, no Congress involved in these sub-processes. Vice Admiral Wilson seemed to be telling Dr. Davis in the meeting notes that a UFO crash retrieval program appears to have been buried within other special access programs. According to the notes, Wilson said he found this unusual group, and he mentioned 3 other names: Paul Kaminsky, General Mitchell Kostanek, and Judith Daly, who was with the Assistant Deputy Under Secretary of Defense, the OUSDAT, right? Dr. Davis asked Wilson what SAP compartment he found it in, and Wilson replied, "Core secret, I won't say." So he worked it out, but he'll not tell this guy. He did say that the private contractor was an aerospace technology contractor with intelligent capabilities in their corporate portfolio. It's just crazy, right? So essentially,
so many divisions of this.
Essentially, the gist of this of these notes is that this guy Wilson, at the time he's deputy director to Defense Intelligence, learns essentially that this UFO retrieval crash business is happening. Is a thing.
It's a real thing.
He looks into it. He finds out the name of the group, the hidden, the subset of a standard program. He finds the subset of it that is doing this. That is outside of Congress's oversight, outside of the military's oversight. And he finds out the name of it, and he finds out who's doing it, but he can't say who it is.
Why? Why is he confined to not
core secret, Chris? Because if he tells us, seemingly if he reveals this, he could be putting, he could be putting people in danger, stuff like that. Core secret, he won't tell. Okay.
It's Bob Lazar.
Wilson then supposedly contracted the defense contractor and spoke to the program manager, the company's security director, and the company's corporate attorney attorney. According to the notes, Wilson told them that he had read their program record and wanted to know about their crashed UFO program and what their role in that was, what they had, etc. He supposedly then demanded a formal briefing on the program under his authority as Deputy Director of Defense Intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
The defense contractor's response was to set up a face-to-face meeting in mid-June 1997. According to the notes, Wilson stated that the security director was retired from the National Security Agency. That's the NSA. So that's another fucking super high.
Jesus.
The security he's ex-NSA, which is like fucking like they're like the CIA on steroids when it comes
really?
to, oh yeah, they're the ones who are listening in on everything.
No way.
Yeah, they're like the super fucking.
What is it? NSA?
The NSA. They're here. You want to go conspiracy theories on the NSA? There's a fucking so many on those guys. They're like they keep quiet, but they're in everything. Everything.
Wow.
He is a counterintelligence expert. So this is the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
This is the security director of this firm that's contracted out to do UFO reconnaissance. This is fucking crazy. So yeah, Wilson says, I told him I wanted a formal briefing. He was exploiting his regulatory authority as deputy director. He said, told them my not being briefed was an oversight that they needed to correct. I demanded. They needed to discuss this. Got called 2 days later, and they said they don't want to talk on the phone or raise for a face-to-face. Did you go? Asked Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson says, yes. 10 days later, mid-June or so, I flew out there, met in their conference room in their secure vault. 3 of them show up. Security director, NSA retired, CIA expert, counterintelligence, program director, attorney, call themselves the Watch Committee or gatekeepers. They refused Wilson access to any other information. He wasn't on their bigot list. So I don't really know what that is, but it's essentially, the term is referring to a list of personnel possessing appropriate security clearance who are cleared to know details of a particular operation. So essentially, need to know basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
He tried to convince them that he should be on the list. It's an oversight that he's not, but they essentially refused. The notes then state that when Davis asked what kind of program they were running, the 3 representatives replied that they weren't a weapons program or an intelligence program, and they weren't a special ops or logistics program. They said they were, we're going to love this, Chris, a reverse engineering program.
Oh, exactly what Bob Lazar.
Yeah, right?
Oh, holy shit.
Oh yeah, I feel like I'm going nearly too much detail into these notes, but yeah. The gist is security, or the deputy director of defense intelligence looks into this. He finds a firm who are outside of the scope of Congress, of
Can't
the military.
say.
Yeah, he won't say who they are.
Core secret.
He meets with them. They tell him they're reverse engineering project,
which is exactly what Bob Lazar claims to.
Well, this is it. Yeah, it's just kind of really
so
weird.
There's method to the madness.
All right, we'll keep going here. They supposedly revealed to Wilson that they had an intact craft that they believed they could get to fly. They said it was technology that was not of this earth, not made by man, not by human hands.
Such as E115.
Bob Lazar said the exact same thing. He said it's not our technology. He said they told him they had this. He asked, was it from overseas or not? They said no, could not be, not possible. They asked where did it come from. Program manager says they didn't know where it was from. It was technology that was not of this earth. According to the notes, they tell Wilson that their program had been going on for years and years, so a long time, achieved little or no success due to a lack of collaboration from the outside community.
Yeah.
They conceded that between the 400 and 800 people on their bigot list, need to know list, who were workers varying in number with funding or personnel changes. It is possible that Paul Kaminsky, General Michael Kostanok, and Judith Daly were on the bigot list. So those are the guys who let him in on this information. Yeah. So returning from the meeting, the notes state that Wilson complained about this program's lack of oversight to the Special Access Program Oversight Committee. So the guys who are supposed to look over all of these special programs. He appealed to them saying that he should have access to this program. They sided with the contractor, so they decided that Wilson shouldn't have access to this information.
Right.
Wilson was then told to drop the matter entirely.
Of course.
With the senior review group chairman threatening him that he wouldn't be promoted to director of DIA, of Defense Intelligence, but instead would get early retirement and lose one of his 2 stars.
No.
So he was threatened with demotion. Or he was threatened with
for if he
retirement.
reveals any of this,
For
basically.
if he didn't drop it.
If he didn't drop it.
If he didn't keep
Drop the case.
Keep digging.
Why did they want him to drop it?
Well, there you go. It's just fucking interesting stuff. In January 1998, Wilson supposedly spoke with Jacques Singleton Gansler, who was Under Secretary of Defense for Acquisitions, Technology, and Logistics. So that's that group that had you go to try and get information about these special projects. So he met with the Undersecretary of it. Gansler told Wilson to drop his inquiry and that the UFOs are real. This is in quotes. UFOs are real. So UFOs are real. So-called alien abductions are not.
Yeah.
So then you
okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it cannot possibly be real. All this stuff. Like, it's just so weird. The US has a long history of suppressing information about UFOs. In 1953, CIA became interested in UFOs, and in January 1953, they set up a committee to study the issue. They concluded the UFO sightings posed no direct threat to national security, but the CIA was worried about mass hysteria. They began a campaign through mass media and schools to convince the US public that there was a lack of evidence for UFOs. The CIA also began monitoring private UFO groups for what they termed subversive activities. US military responded with the December 1953 Joint Army Navy Air Force publication 146, which details the procedures to be followed in the filing of reports from pilots and crews of military aircraft regarding information of vital importance, to the security of the United States involving sightings of UFOs. So essentially, regulations for pilots reporting UFO stuff.
That's some heavy stuff.
It's fucking crazy.
Jesus.
It has been 1 month since the Davis notes appeared on Imager, and again, there's no way of knowing whether they are real or not. If they are authentic, they could be large steps towards learning the truth about Area 51. But obviously, there's no way to clarify it. I will show you, Christopher, really quickly now, because I know I've been going off this for a while. These are the actual pictures. These are the
notes.
Scans of the notes, right?
Wow.
So a lot of it's just like abbreviations and stuff. It's like of the guy who Eric Davis has written his notes down essentially, and they've been taking a picture of. But there's one thing that's really interesting there, and it's a note from Miller to Davis. So Miller is the guy that. Okay, 1 second. Wilson, right, is the guy who did all the investigation, did all the digging. He's the deputy, or was the deputy director of intelligence. And he was talking initially with this guy, Miller, who was like head of the Navy. So we have a note here from Davis, who's the guy who talked to Wilson and wrote everything down.
Okay.
This is a letter from the head of the Navy, Miller, to him. Okay. Yeah, I got that right. Okay. Yeah. There's so many names going here. Basically, he's answering his inquiries about all of this. Basically, and he's just sort of it's a official letter. That's what I'm trying to get at here.
Okay, yeah.
So it's got the stamp, it's got the header.
Yeah, and then dear sir, blah blah blah
blah blah blah blah. But he basically is saying, now, all that said, this quote, I'm pending further discussion with you and Hal, who's in a third party, on your ultimate objectives for having such information. I could provide the following. This is the information he's willing to provide. Particulars on a special team, in quotes, involved with recovering crashed craft, including but not limited to the previously classified F-117 stealth fighter, so that's a government thing. This team or successors, its parents sponsoring entity, and its 2 key officers may provide some of the information that you seek. So talking about crash recover experts, he's only like clearing information to guys who recovered like US planes.
Okay.
The name and last location of a senior officer who I believe has first-hand knowledge about US government alien reproduction vehicles at Area 51 and associated locations. All right, so there's in one line. From a guy, head of the Navy, talking about Area 51 and alien vehicles. The name and current location of a retired senior officer who I believe was directly involved in government interaction with a significant UFO event on the east coast of the US. And I believe has, by virtue of his former leadership position, high military rank and control of significant military forces, direct knowledge of involvement in this business. A list of civilian government contractors who, by virtue of their past and current highly classified work, current capabilities, clearance, specialized personnel, and geographic areas of concern, most likely have current involvement in and knowledge of work in alien-derived technologies, crashes, landings, and associated events. If you have any interest in any of the above, let me know. Best regards, Will Miller.
So did he ever pass these notes on?
Who?
He's saying he's writing this letter and he's telling these guys, these are the notes I have. This is what the information I have. Did he pass that information on?
I think so. I guess get this from you. 1 second.
Did they ever come back to him and be like, yes, this is...
He said, I could provide the following. So
yes. Did he?
No, we don't have this information from here because this is a leak.
Yeah.
These are documents that have been
I'd
taken.
love to know if he ever did pass it. You know what I mean? Did he pass that information on? Did they act on it?
This is the guy Davis making these inquiries, and he got told that he might be able to find this information out. So Davis either kept digging and found out more, but he's kept it to himself. This has come out. This has not been released by anybody. This has been found, scanned, and uploaded. You know what I mean?
Who would find that?
UFO researchers, Chris, I did not realize they are serious business.
Yeah.
I was reading some blogs about this now.
Yeah.
Blog is not a very fucking reliable source. Right?
Yeah.
By the way, that article that I was reading is from a website called, and you can decide for yourself whether or not they're reliable or not, interestingengineering.com. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that they're any authority, but they did a really good just sort of, what do you call that, summary of those notes.
Yeah.
A lot of these UFO guys, they have their own blogs and they write their stuff up. And like they're writing stuff like, we've known this for like years. This is just the first time we've got a bit of proof about it. We've known that Davis was doing his investigations. We know that Wilson had information about it. We've known this for years. It's just good that we finally have notes. Mm-hmm. Now, these guys could be crackpots, right? But they seem to have this consensus that these notes are validating something they already previously believed, which could be beneficial or bad for the legitimacy of those notes, because that could be another blogger who decided, I'm going to forge and just confirm everything we know. I'm just going to make this all up. Or it could be validation of what they always knew.
Jesus.
That is the Wilson Davis meeting notes. Look that up if you want to know more about that. Wilson Davis meeting notes. I'll give you the names one last time. I keep forgetting the fucking names. 1 second. So Eric Davis, Thomas Wilson, and what was the other guy, Chris?
It's like a name that always matches his surname. Is it like... No, it's not.
Yeah. 1 second, I get it.
Begins with W?
Oh my god, I get it. 1 second, I get it. This is so frustrating. He was the guy, he's head of the Navy. Why am I finding this so difficult?
What's his surname?
Miller. Something Miller.
It's not like Wilfred or Wilbur. Is it?
I had all these names at the start and I lost them. Okay, just look up Eric Davis and Thomas Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you want. The other guy was Eric. Oh, I have to get it now. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, we gotta get it. Take this time to refresh your brain.
It's
gone.
Look up those.
Okay.
Look up those names. If you really wanted to get more into this, it's just there could be so much more going on. Like that's the stuff.
So Bob Lazar could be on to something.
Bob Lazar could be telling the truth. I mean, I'm not going to stay here and say that he is. I'm not convinced that he is. But I looked into this. I did like 1 hour's research on this,
and that's what.
I found all this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and that's from a month ago. Like that's not like it's.
Yeah. It's not like it's old school. Yeah,
no. Yeah. Look that up. That's just fascinating stuff. Even if you don't believe it in the slightest, I think it's super interesting to look all this stuff up, hear the theories, hear the speculation. It's class, absolutely class. But yeah, I mean, I'm not convinced or anything. But
I'm not convinced. I'm very open to the idea, though.
Yeah. I like the idea that aliens exist.
Reverse engineering, that whole thing.
about
Oh, fuck, absolutely.
And like, you know, those are all like government people. Like, it almost seems too convoluted to be made up, you know.
Yeah.
It's a very good fake if it's a fake. That those notes in particular. Lazar is an interesting figure to me because he didn't write a book. He didn't make his money off of it. He just said it.
Yeah, he's got no personal gain from this.
Said it. He fell into the background for 30 years. And then he came back and said it again. Or maybe I'm just getting washed up with the hype.
Caught up.
Yeah, you know.
The hype train is real, dude.
Area 51, man.
It's a big thing.
It's so interesting.
I know.
What do you think with this raid though? What's going to happen?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I think maybe, as you say, we'll get 400 or 500 people, and that's it.
And that'll be it.
I'd love to see a proper raid.
Oh,
you
I
know,
mean, I think it'd be
Jesus,
hilarious.
go mad. Let's see what we get, but I don't think it's going to happen. No, I can't.
I think you might get I'd say you might get 400 or 500 people who just have a party. Outside.
The desert.
It's like, here's our raid.
I mean, I'd go.
That sounds like fun.
No, I don't think anything's going to happen with the raid.
No. But the internet certainly thinks it is.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of memes slammed about.
Yeah.
I'm glad though that this came up because I've looked into it and I've had a ball.
Interesting stuff.
Even
I'm fascinated with the Bob Lazar stuff. That's where I'm caught up on at the minute.
I'd like to listen. I'm going to listen to that podcast.
Oh, I do, 100%. It's definitely worth a listen. Look for Bob Lazar and Joe Rogan, and then the Netflix documentary as well. Definitely worth a listen and a watch.
Yep.
Even if you're not even remotely
convinced. No.
It's just fascinating stuff.
Just interesting to hear what this is all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you happy with that?
I'm happy with it. You happy with that?
Oh, I'm very happy with that.
Definitely, yeah.
I feel like I've uncovered something today.
I think you've uncovered something today too. Out of that as well, I pulled the NSA. I'm going to look a bit into those guys.
Yeah.
The Day After Roswell, which is a book I may well pick up, and the Mormon Letter. Find out what the hell the Mormon Letter is.
There you go.
So.
All these questions, just ask more questions.
Exactly, yeah.
Never any answers.
It's what our podcasts are fueled by. Yeah, I don't have anything else to touch on that way. Do you want to talk a little bit about what we got up to during the week?
Yeah, sure.
Let's get personal with the podcast before we wrap it up. What'd you get up to this week then, Dee?
Let me tell you, Chris.
Let's start off with
not much.
Let's start off with food. I think food's always a good place to start.
Okay.
Because right now I can feel my tummy rumbling. I'm getting quite hungry.
Your tummy's rumbling?
My tummy's rumbling. I didn't have breakfast this morning.
Have you got a rumbly tumbly?
I have a rumbly tummy.
Winnie the Pooh. You didn't do breakfast? No
breakfast. I went fasted into this one. I thought if I was fasted I'd be more alert.
Yeah, it helps with that stuff.
So I have a stack of pancakes inside waiting for me. So after this I'm gonna go train, and then I'm gonna go eat my pancakes.
Tremendous. I also didn't eat this morning, but I never eat in this morning. In this morning.
You still do intermittent fasting? Subconsciously, yeah.
I mean, I don't eat breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I need to eat breakfast. As you said, you I don't know if you were serious. If you feel more alert when you're fasting.
Yeah.
I am most efficient in work between the hours of 9:30 and
12.
12. Yeah. And I don't eat until 1 or half 1.
Yeah.
And then after that, I have a sluggish
afternoon.
Mid-afternoon. Then I get back into it in the afternoon. Food, I can delay food with no problem for me.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. So.
What kind of foods are you eating at the minute?
We're still cooking a lot of our own stuff. Trying to think. This week we did a big shop last week, so now we're just the tail end of the shop.
Oh yeah.
So the nice stuff's more
the worst part of the shop.
Yeah, we're just trying to make stuff work. I think we had chicken goujons and chips and stuff. Basic stuff. Yeah. We made our own. We had some steak.
Oh.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Good.
Pretty good. Just pan fried it, spuds and butter.
Delicious.
Tasty stuff. Yeah. Tuesday, Liam was up on Tuesday and
what'd you have?
Fucking wound me into a Domino's, Chris. Wouldn't you believe it?
What'd you have?
Pepperoni. We got actually 2 pizzas because it was three of us. Yeah, it was 2 for Tuesdays. No, it wasn't. What was it? Monday. It was Monday. Monday. Yeah, because he said the same thing. It's 2 for Tuesday, and I was like, "It's not Tuesday, is it?" He's like, "No, forgot that." But yeah, we had a pepperoni one, just double cheese, double pepperoni, boom,
brilliant.
Bob's your uncle. Yeah. And then we had, because Laura wanted a bit of barbecue.
Oh yeah.
She just got some barbecue and some not Cajun chicken, Catalan chicken out of Domino's.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's quite moist, juicy chicken. Okay. I never like chicken on pizza because it gets quite dry. That's my opinion. It's not. It's quite wet, and she got some sweet corn stuff on there as well.
Nice.
And then the other side we got more pepperoni and chorizo.
Nice.
And
you do like the chorizo on pizza, don't you?
It's a little addition. It's tasty. I have to say, you mentioned this once before. It's not as disgusting as I thought it would be. Is the mixture between where the barbecue meets the tomato?
I'm telling you,
there's something to
that
it.
Slice at either side is it's the best slice.
It's not bad, and it's not the best. It has something going for it.
It does,
way, right?
yeah. It's because I think you just get enough barbecue and enough of the tomato.
Yeah, it's the tomato slice with a little bit of barbecue.
Yeah, not the barbecue with a little bit of tomato.
Because you can't really taste the tomato off the barbecue.
I get that. Yeah.
But yeah, it was Domino's, man. It was delicious.
Yeah.
I felt about if I was gonna die afterwards.
Yeah, just stuffed to the gills.
Yeah,
good. That's a good.
But I felt good, right? Because later in the week, I think last night actually, the night before last. We were going to get a boojum.
Oh.
But because it was the 12th of July on Friday, our local boojum wasn't open. So it was like, okay, whatever. We're not going to go drive to the other one. So we just ordered a kebab.
Was it nice?
Kebabs are so greasy, but
yeah.
It was okay. It was pretty nice to be fair, right? Yeah. But like they just load it.
Yeah.
Like it's so fucking
it's
full.
overload. Yeah, I know, yeah.
And I eat so much of it and then
it's a bang for buck kind of.
Yeah. But I felt super sick afterwards.
Did you? Yeah.
I just felt like, oh my god.
Doner meat? Like, was it doner kebab?
I had chicken actually.
Chicken,
yeah. Laura had both, like a
nice.
mixture. Tell you what, both felt very, very like uncomfortably full afterwards. Yeah, as opposed to Domino's, you just kind of felt like
content.
Content, yeah. That's really all I've. Oh, I had a McDonald's on the way down the road yesterday as well.
How was that?
Pretty good.
Yeah, solid McDonald's.
Fine. Yeah, got a big tasty. Asked for a big tasty with bacon. Only got a big tasty. So, I know.
That's a bit disappointing.
I also got 20 McChicken nuggets.
You have to.
Don't know why I did it. I think
as
I was driving up on the little screen before like they
just seeing the box.
It just said 20 McChicken nuggets. I was like,
I'll get those.
I'll get that.
Yeah.
Too many. Got too many.
With a big tasty, yes, possibly.
Yeah.
Without a big tasty,
12 I think would have been spot on.
12 is a nice number.
Do they do 12?
They do, yeah.
I should have.
Well, you get 2 6s.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 2 6s.
Yeah. No, they do 9. Is what they do. They do 4. They do 6, and then I think they do 9.
And then 20.
Or you can get 2 6s.
Yeah.
Or you can get a 20.
Yeah. It's not very cost effective to get 2 6s, Chris.
It's not. It would cost less to get just go up in multiples of 4, I think.
Interesting. 3 4s is cheaper than 2 6s?
I think so.
That is interesting. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
I'll check that out next
You got to know your menus, guys.
Yeah, well, I suppose we had a fair few kind of takeaway foods during the week. Mm-hmm. Everything else was quite responsible.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. What about yourself?
No. My ones... no, I'm not eating.
Haven't eaten this week?
So my ones have all disappeared.
So there's no one to cook for me.
For July. So, like you, I got a good shop in for myself. I got just all the stuff I've been eating. Again, still keeping away from the meats and things where possible. I had fajitas.
Did you get the fajita kits?
Fajita kit, yeah.
The old El Paso?
I had one of those, the smoky barbecue one.
Oh, delicious.
Did
you have any chicken in that, or just go with the peppers and onions?
I had the peppers. I had a load of mixed veg, and then I had black and aduki beans, which kind of made up the bulk of it, which was very, very
Sounds
good.
Awful.
Yeah, no, it was delicious. You can't just mash them all up, put them in the pan with all the stuff, and then all your seasoning mix over it. Really, really good.
Mash up the beans.
Oh yeah, yeah. Have those then into your wrap with some homemade guacamole, some salsa, that kind of stuff. It was really good. I had pancakes during the week as well. I've got another stack now for this morning. I had Weetabix for the first time this week in ages. What is a standard not a standard portion? How many Weetabix would it take to? What would you eat? Yeah, 3.
3. Yeah.
I had 4.
Okay.
I talked about this at work, and they were like, "Oh my god, you monster!" Like 2, maybe 1.
2.
I said, "What?
Get out of here." 2 leaves you like.
I've had like 5, 6 before, and it's like.
Oh, don't talk to me when it comes to eating cereal. Like I used to get.
No, I'm the
I
same
used to
with
sit
you.
down and
I'd just eat a box.
I'll have a little bowl of cereal here before bed, and I'd pour it. It was always cornflakes for me. Yeah. I'd pour cornflakes in, and I'd eat a bowl, and then I'd be like, I could eat about 3 more of those.
Yeah.
And normally I would eat about 2 more.
2
at
more,
least.
yeah.
And you're like, why?
Cereal to me, if I buy a cereal that I like and I enjoy, I'm more than likely just going to keep it there, and then I'm just going to devour the box in one sitting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to break it up and have a nice wee bowl every night. I'm just going to eat the whole fucking box at once.
Do you know what's complete bullshit as well?
What's that?
The suggested serving.
30 grams.
30 grams.
30 grams. You may as well. Yeah, it's like
less
it
than
fits into
half.
the palm of your hand.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's stupid.
It's so stupid.
Do you know what I've really get into this week as well? I've been watching Band of Brothers.
Oh, brilliant.
Which is, I just tucked back into it.
Fantastic.
Because I finished True Detective.
Oh, yeah.
Which is fucking excellent.
How do you top that?
Band of Brothers. Put in Band of Brothers, and I put in the first episode. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get back into this. By the second episode, I was gone. But with it, I've been eating a lot of crisps.
Oh,
I like Pringles.
Oh yes,
Pringles.
Well, Pringles, you know, Chris.
They're so true though. Once you fucking start eating one or two of them, you're gonna eat the whole sleeve.
Did I ever tell you
Pringles.
the sleeve?
Yeah.
You call it a sleeve?
What is it? Tube?
Yeah.
A tube. Sorry, the tube of Pringles.
Did I ever tell you the thing I read on BBC about Pringles and how it isn't necessarily the taste that makes you not stop?
What is it?
It's the crunch. When you put it in your mouth.
Gives you that.
Apparently, it's more addictive.
Sends like the endorphins.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's the marketing. They put it in a tube. They say they put it in a tube to keep it like, I don't know, fresh or keep the unique shape preserved. But the shape isn't about tasting, it's all about the crunch.
Wow.
It's shaped perfectly for
I could
crunch.
well believe that.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. It's like they spend millions of dollars working out how to make things like Pringles
appealing.
work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it has to
Yeah,
have
marketing
perfect
research
crunch.
is it. Wow. Yeah, I also told you about Pringles not classifying as a crisp, didn't I?
Oh yeah, because there's not enough.
There's not enough
material in them?
Yeah.
Crisp potato material.
So I had salt and vinegar ones, I had the original ones, and I had the prawn cocktail ones so far.
Christopher, get yourself some sour cream and onion.
I'm not a massive fan of them. I
don't
think they
care.
get sickening.
No,
very quick, yeah.
They're the ones you don't stop popping. Popping, don't stop it. Get those and get the barbecue ones are really nice as
But
well.
I love the barbecue
Barbecues
ones.
are very good.
The thing is,
Original I could take or leave.
I've also been bad with it as well because I have some. I had some Easter eggs left over.
Right.
I actually had a big Dairy Milk share one.
It's July.
Yeah, and they're still in date to like August.
Fair. Get on them.
So it had 2 of the giant Dairy Milk share bars, and it also had the giant egg. Chocolate.
And then the egg on top of that.
Chocolate and crisps are just such a fucking wonderful mix.
Yeah, sure. Didn't they do this before?
They did this before with Tato, didn't they?
Yeah.
They made them. But it's such a wonderful mix.
Yeah, it's a good mix.
And washed down with an ice cold Coke Zero, watching Band of Brothers has been a terrific way to spend some evenings.
Like your snack game's been on point.
It's been good. I tell you what's a very, very good Dairy Milk bar at the minute. Toffee whole nut.
Whole nut. Yeah. God, they're really getting creative, aren't they, with these
You really want to get that.
variations?
Pick that up, you find that toffee whole nut. It's very good.
Give it
Very
a
good
look.
bar. Apart from that, I haven't had too much different food outside of my spectrum this week. I had a Waters's maybe this day last week, maybe. I opted for a cheesy chip, and I went for the chicken tenders with it as well.
Ooh, very nice.
It was good.
Oh, I'd imagine
It
so.
was very good. Waters's never really feels me.
Chicken tenders, that's different from the fillet.
From the fillet, yeah.
Just like sliced
Yep.
up.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Very good. That's it. That's all I've really had, bar the norm.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
nothing
That's
to.
good stuff.
I'm gonna hopefully finish
Tasty
Band of
stuff.
Brothers now in the next day or two. I just finished watching Crossroads last night. Excellent
I forget all
episode.
the
Probably my
episodes.
favorite episode. It's like where Winters has to write up the report on what happened when he leads like the charge.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant.
Fucking excellent episode.
I think my favorite of it was the one in the. Oh, I forget the Battle of the Budge or something.
Across the river.
Yeah.
Is it the
Isn't
one
it?
across? They go at night.
Yeah. No.
no.
It's in it's in winter. It's.
Oh, where they're in the forest.
Yeah. What's it called?
Unbelievable.
Brilliant episode.
That's where the episode is just left. They're on their way to the forest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
They're all brilliant episodes.
So, I forgot how good, but I'm probably going to follow it up with the Pacific. I'm not going to lie.
You might as well.
I might as well
just
just.
follow this thing through. They're
Yeah.
still working on that like third series of that. Following up
Any
some-
word on where it's supposed to be set?
Yeah,
or
no,
what it is?
they've named it and everything. It's like there's some. It's an air force in World War II again, but I forget the name of
They
it.
do it so well.
Yeah.
They do it so well.
Oh, they do it brilliantly.
I also have, in case if all else fails and I've got nothing else to follow it up, I still have Chernobyl sitting there ready to watch.
We give it all
pre-recorded, ready
you
to
should
go.
definitely watch it. I've heard.
You watched it?
I haven't seen
No,
it, but
yeah,
I've
yeah.
heard so many good things.
I meant to go to the cinema this week. Do you see Toy Story?
No.
No.
Are you?
No.
You meant to go and see it? Or are you going to go see
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man?
Yeah, I might do both.
Got nothing but time, right?
So I'm
Chris?
off tomorrow, so I might go for like one of the matinees over in Monaghan.
Fair play.
Maybe go see that. But yeah, that's been my week. I haven't played anything.
Fair enough. Yeah, I played. Me and Aurora playing Divinity together. Yeah.
Original Sin.
Yeah.
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 Nice.
So we're like 30 something hours into it.
Well
now.
done.
I know. It's just
It's a good amount
anytime
of
we're
time.
like sort of like we're finished with the dinner or whatever, and we're sitting down for like an hour, so we'll just play it.
Nice. Very
And
nice.
then maybe watch a show.
Did
or
you
something.
start playing Breath of the Wild yet?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Nope, Chris, I did not. And
I want to know.
apologize for
I
that.
want to know your verdict on it.
I know. I'm dying to get into it, but I've also want to get into. I started playing Doom. I want to get through it. I'm trying to get back into Minecraft. I haven't been playing it a couple of days. I know.
I've stopped on Minecraft already. It's crazy.
I want to build an iron farm.
They're so big.
I want to build that, and then I want to build something just humongous.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. No, I think I'm going to concentrate my efforts this week on making sure our podcast gets what it needs. And I've just started reading. No, I need to finish the book I'm reading now, and then another book landed for me yesterday, Between a Rock and a Hard Place. You know, the Aaron Ralston, the rock climber, got his arm stuck.
The 127 hours.
So
Is that what he called his book?
Between a Rock and a Hard Place.
My God,
Yeah.
brilliant.
So it just landed for me. I want to read it because I have another book coming about a guy called Viktor Frankl who survived concentration camp in Auschwitz.
Wow.
So I'm really looking forward to reading that book.
That's probably a good candidate for Fantastic Human Feats.
Yes, actually,
Where to find
yes.
them.
So would Aaron Ralston.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
I do Aaron Olsen? No.
No, we did Touching the Void, and we did
Touching the cloth.
we did something else. I don't know.
Oh,
what
we
one.
did. I did one.
The guy
Okay.
who survived on the island, and then all the Spanish people came, and he hid in a tree.
Is that right? Is that how I did? I
Yeah.
actually can't remember.
That was a fucking excellent one because I wanted to look that guy up.
There you have it.
What was
I
his
can't
name?
remember these
I
at
forget,
all.
yeah. I can share with you some shower thoughts.
Please do.
To
Yeah.
finish up
I need
this-
some things to question reality on.
The most unrealistic thing about Toy Story is that after 14 years, Woody still has his hat.
That's fair. Do you want to know slightly more not suitable for work?
Mhm.
Sure, I thought about Toy Story.
What's that?
In the world of Toy Story, sex toys can move.
My God.
They're a real thing.
They're a real fucking thing. Wow. I heard a good one. I'm going to try to get this shower thought right. So, blind people will never have dreams, whereas people who have had sight and
then
lost it
Yeah.
will dream but never be able to see them after.
So that's worse,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So blind people, like when they dream, I don't know if they have dreams.
I mean, I'm sure they have
I'm sure they
dreams,
dreams, but they'll never see.
Yeah, it just won't be visually
Yeah.
based dreams. It'll be all audio
Yeah.
and touch and stuff.
Whereas people who have had sight and lost it,
They'll see
Will
things
see.
in their dreams.
and then when they wake,
They won't.
there.
That's incredible, actually.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Inception was real life, those people would never go out of the dream world.
They'd
the
never
dream
leave.
state,
Yeah.
'cause they
Why
could
would
see.
they? Yeah.
That's crazy.
You never realize how close you are to going asleep until something wakes you up.
That's very true.
Very true.
I've had that a couple of times very recently, actually.
Have you? We've just
Yeah.
been so
Well,
close.
I've just I've gotten up and it's like I haven't even been anywhere near sleep until I say I wake up because I hear something and I'm like, oh, what is that? Okay, I'm fully awake, and then I go back to lie down and I'm like, I was like asleep there, nearly, pretty much asleep there,
Yeah.
but it feels like it's
No, it
only been
wasn't, yeah.
2 seconds since my
Mhm.
last conscious thought.
My sleep is actually, I've made a conscious effort all week to make sure I'm getting real good sleep.
You got one of them?
No, actually, no.
Get one of
Is
them?
that good?
Yeah, that tracks that's brilliant. This tracks
Tracks your sleep?
everything. Yeah,
Wow.
tells
No.
me how many hours I got of deep sleep, my heart rate during my sleep, so it lets you know is anything disturbing you. It lets you know when you've woken, what has woken you up. And stuff.
Wow. No, my smartwatch broke.
Oh, that sucks.
Apparently it has some like manufacturing fucking glitch with it called the reboot to death sequence.
The
It
boot
literally
loop.
just keeps rebooting until it
Yeah,
dies.
that happened 2 of my phones.
Did it? Yeah. Fucking hell.
Both of them made by LG, so as you can imagine,
Mm-hmm.
this one's from LG as well.
Oh, you're just waiting.
Wait, yeah,
Um,
don't buy LG.
Maybe we haven't seen any time travelers because humanity goes extinct in the future.
Possibly, yeah.
Mhm.
Or because all the time technology is in Area 51.
True, with Bob Lazar. Getting your blood tested is like seeing your stats in real life. When a human dies in movies, no one flinches, but when a dog dies, everyone cries.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
So spot on.
spot on that
It's
one.
like that was in Mindhunter the other night as well.
Mhm.
It's like what we won't do to each other as human beings, but we're human beings and we understand that we can do these
Yeah.
things. But to a dog, it's different.
It is. Yeah.
It's because we know a dog isn't capable of doing that to another. Well, not killing another dog, sure, but not stabbing another dog. Not murdering like that.
I know.
Dogs don't premeditate.
No.
But we can. That's why it's weird.
I'm reading a book about that kind of stuff at the minute, about not about premeditation, but about how we as humans have, like, you know, the ability to what do you call that? Like
think,
like our consciousness, basically. You know, we can kind of switch it on and off. We can decide how things play out, whereas animals, we can become proactive, whereas animals are always reactive, basically.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We can, like, go in our heads like, oh, this is how it's going to go down. This happened. If this happens, I'll do this. If that happens, I'll do this. Yeah. Whereas animals just
instinct.
Yeah.
You know, it's very, very good at the minute. Dora is more of a tourist than an explorer, as she only explores mapped territories.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's a fair point, Dora.
Yeah.
Get on that.
Toilet paper commercials never show what the product is really supposed to be used for.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's such a good advertising.
Good advertising, yeah. They never have to.
All I ever think about when you talk to me about toilet roll advertising is puppies and kittens.
Puppies, yeah.
Soft
things. Koalas.
Right? Yeah.
Coachella, no?
It's always something soft.
Yeah.
But you never ever address the fact that you want it soft because it's going to be touching your butt.
Yeah.
And that's it.
The Pacer test, or the bleep test, was one of the first ever battle royales we ever experienced.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
The bleep test?
Yeah.
Oh god, no, I hated it.
Killed you, but it was like you realize I'm getting pretty far here.
I know, yeah.
You did pretty good, and then you fell.
And finally, the 5th of October 2040 will be the only year that any of us experience where each number in sequence doubles the last.
So 2, 4.
So if you write down, like, 0, 5, 10, 20, 40. So 5 doubled is 10, doubled is 20, doubled is 40.
Well, that's fair. Yeah.
That's it. That's it for
all that is.
That's all for our shower.
Oh wait, but that depends on where you are in the world. Because
true,
if you're in America, that's 10, 5.
Too. Yeah, fuck. Oh, if portals existed, we wouldn't need air conditioning anymore. We would just open a portal to a warm or cold place and let the air flow in.
I see that, and I was like, that is the stupidest thing ever, because it's going to cost so much to open a portal. Surely.
I know.
Surely it's going to cost so much money. It's going to be like NASA going to be spending billions upon billions to do this, and you're like, you know what I could use that for?
Do you have a NASA T-shirt, right, that I picked up in pennies, and on the label of it, it's made or whatever, or came from BuzzAldrin.com.
Cool.
That's a thing. Yeah. Didn't know that the other day.
Buzz Aldrin is a badass guy.
Yeah.
Punch. Did you ever hear about him punching? There's a conspiracy theorist. Did you ever see this? No. This video. It's actually very, very interesting. The video makes it seem that he's a lot worse than he is. Although I think he's completely in his rights. Basically, there's a moon landing denier stood in front of him saying, "Why'd you lie? Why'd you lie? Why'd you do this here?" And he's still with his wife. And the guy gets right up in his face. He just smacks him.
Really?
Yeah, full on, full dig. And initially it looks like he just got frustrated with this guy, but apparently the guy had been like sitting at a table near him during his dinner. He was sitting with his wife having dinner, and he kept doing it. Did it for like an hour or so. Eventually he just snapped and fucking smacked him.
Fucking good enough for him.
I think when you get to a certain age and you walked in the fucking moon, you can do whatever you want.
I know. He also still advertises oatmeal. Quaker Oats, I think.
Is he?
Yeah,
because
he still eats his porridge every day. He's at porridge in outer space.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So
he stands by what he believes. I guess.
Well,
I wonder, does he know what's in Area 51?
I hope so.
Because I thought there was another guy.
Maybe that's where the moon landing was faked.
Yeah, there you go. Another Apollo guy was in those conversations.
Really?
Yeah, I forget. I listed his name somewhere in that podcast. So
I'm hoping for our next podcast, we can maybe do another Reddit podcast.
Yeah,
so you'll be open to that. Pick a topic on Reddit and we'll go. Because we had the first dates one once.
We could do
with Shawnee Mac.
Am I the Asshole? Which is something.
Yes.
Laura's been reading a lot about it. And
yeah.
I have been getting very interested in it. There's nothing better than when you're reading an Am I the Asshole post and they are in fact the asshole.
Definitely. Let's do that then. Yeah, 100%. Right, there we go. That's our next podcast. Am I the Asshole?
There you go. Perfect. And we can list some of our own personal experiences as well.
The previous podcast, if you're listening to this one, was the Empty Promise quiz. Go and check that one out. You can find all of our previous podcasts on any podcast hosting service, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, anywhere. You will also find the video version over at youtube.com/X8Gaming. New podcast each and every week. Every Monday the audio goes up and the video version isn't too far behind that. Thank you to everybody who tunes in on a weekly basis. Hello to all the new people tuning. If this is your first podcast, thank you for finding us. We hope it has found you well. And I think that's all that's left to say. We can go and enjoy our Sunday. Go in peace.
You can go enjoy your Monday.
Yeah, you can go enjoy your Monday. Go enjoy your week. Have a good week, everyone.
Oh yeah, right enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everyone has a good week.
We get some good weather.
Yeah.
Get outside, go for a nice walk.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Breathe in. Stop and smell the roses.
Remember, your nose is for breathing, and you will have a better life if you continue to breathe through your nose than your mouth. I learned that.
What if you have hay fever?
Hay fever is a fake disease. Do you get hay fever?
No.
Good.
But I'm pretty sure it's a real
It's
disease.
not. You can't be attacked by plants. I'm sorry. It's so fucking fake.
It's fake news.
Yeah, it is. It's fake fucking news. All right, everyone. We'll see you all next week. Bright eyed and bushy tail. Goodbye and God bless.
Bye bye.
Do 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 do.
Bow, 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 bow.